All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of Nighttime. Join us tonight, guys.
How are you?
Rather warm.
Very.
And have a beautiful, crazy lady.
Where? Hello.
Bit warm here.
Just a tad.
Unfortunately, we have air conditioning failing again, so yeah, but bear with us. And Jason joined us again tonight.
How you doing?
Good.
Pretty hot up here.
Yeah. And we did have a fifth member coming in, one of the viewers, but unfortunately, apparently he has a flat tire. So
It's only flat in the bottom, isn't it?
well, apparently so. But, yeah. Anyway, how was everyone?
It's been a long week and it's only Tuesday.
Disappointed.
Well, yeah, being an Eels supporter, that'll do that to you.
Raiders 2 from 2, so yeah, I'm good.
And the nice supporter is?
Same as the Eel supporter.
Yeah. Yeah, but we're slow starters, mate. You know, we come through at the end. Didn't we, Shane? Anyway, let's kick it off, eh? NRL news. The Knights are reportedly set to be without winger Greg Marju after he has suffered a wrist injury. The Storm are set to rush Rising Star into their 17 this week after Jerome Hughes reluctantly took an early guilty plea for making contact with a referee. South Sydney have reportedly dropped Lachlan Ilias for their clash against the Roosters on Friday night. The Daily Telegraph reported Ilias is set to make the way in the halves, with Dean Hawkins set to come into the number 7 jersey, while Jack Whiten returns from suspension in the centres. Meanwhile, a favourite has emerged to replace Roosters poet Luke Keary after he was stood down due to NRL concussion protocols. Brisbane Broncos are refusing to talk about last year's grand final loss to Penrith in the lead-up to Thursday's showdown between the two sides. Rather than use the 26-24 defeat at Accor Stadium last October as motivation, Brisbane are instead opting to ignore it. Penrith's rising star Tyrone May is reportedly set on the radar from 3 rival clubs. Amid Penrith's power breakers' attempts to keep him at the foot of the mountain, Penrith have tabled a deal worth $500,000 per season to keep him at the club. And that's the breaking stories in the Nighttime NRL news. So, yeah.
A few little talking points there.
Yeah, there is. Anyway, Gazbag.
Gazbag. Listen, keep them coming in. Kylie's starting to dwindle down. I've only got 4 here today. First one, which is on everybody's lips. Why is it Latrell Mitchell was not fined or warned about his potty mouth language in an interview after the game, but Brendan Smith copped a 1-match suspension and a $15,000 fine for swearing on a podcast? Is it one rule for some and different rules for others? By Mark H.
Well,
yeah, definitely. It's not what it was about, who it is. Latrell's pretty much the media darling at the moment. And, yeah, nothing was going to happen with that.
well, you know, it's opened the can of worms now, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Like Ricky Stewart.
Yep.
Well, you know, I'll start off with, I wasn't going to go into it, but I'm going to. It's really cheesed me off, to be honest. Latrell Mitchell last week went on all the week before about Spencer Leniu come out commenting against NRL protocols that you're not allowed to. He, you know, went on a huff and puff about it. NRL did nothing. Now he's come out and done this, NRL did nothing. But Sam Burgess also walked out of his beloved club last year and saying that was double standards in the club with Latrell Mitchell. I'm not going to say a word. I'll just let you, you know.
Yep.
But Ricky Stewart, he received a fine for swearing in a press conference. And didn't he get fined for calling old mate weak gutted dog?
He's always getting fined.
But how can you find one and not the other?
Exactly.
So, okay.
Yeah.
And-
Tyson Gamble comes out this week and says in a press conference, I worked my effing butt off and had a great game. Are they going to find him?
Exactly.
100% they are.
Yes,
100% they are.
because he's not high profile.
Don't matter.
I'm saying he
Mm.
will
Yeah,
get
yeah,
fined
100%.
because he's not high profile.
But calling
100%.
someone a weak gutted dog, you shouldn't say that. But is there any swearing in that?
No.
He
But-
gets fined for it.
But he knew what he was saying because
Exactly.
didn't he come out and say,
I don't care if I'm swearing.
I don't care if I'm swearing. Yeah. So he knew. And now for the NRL to come out and say that Triple M refused to interview to be able to interview him,
Anyone.
anyone, I think that's
It's outrageous, that. It's garbage.
it's a crock of shit. I'll say it on here. I don't care. It's a crock of shit.
Do we fine him for saying that over there?
I think so.
Mm.
The
One-
thing
one
with
That's-
Latrell
that's where you
is Latrell's always coming out every week and saying, "Oh, I'm a role model, or I have to
Mhm.
be a role model." But then he has this interview, and he's swearing, and outwardly says, "I don't care if I'm swearing,"
Mm.
and he does it some more. What do you want to be, a role model, or
But how many
the exact
things,
opposite?
like, excuse me, he come out and he went against the protocol of the NRL the week before. So what are these rules in place for? If he can break them, why can't everyone? So if you now get done, you go, well, for something like that, you go, well, how come you didn't find him?
Yeah,
But-
just keep throwing it back.
That's right. But then you go on, if they go, NRL said something about they looked into it and they felt that it was in the best interest not to. So how can you say that's not, this bloke warrants it, but that one doesn't?
You know, like in the heat of the moment, you slip and say it once. Well, it's
And you
a
go, "Oh."
bad luck. Yeah, sorry
Yeah.
about that.
Mm.
But I heard it. It was just beep, beep. You couldn't even understand the interview. There's too many bips in it.
Either he's set a precedent now where everyone can do that,
Mm.
or the NRL's going to step in and go, right, from here on, no one
Yeah.
do that, or you get a fine, possible suspension.
From
But-
here on, unless Latrell does it again,
But I think they can't now go from here on now because everyone will go, okay, Gary goes to judiciary next week and goes, well, you should have said it before. How
Yeah.
come? I just reckon it's opened a big can of worms. And, Sam Burgess. You think of the Bunnies. Who do you think of? Sam Burgess now?
Yeah.
He walked out there 12 months ago saying this about the club.
Yeah, you said Latrell and Cody Walker preferential treatment.
Mm.
yeah, and didn't Josh Mansour come out on a
Mhm.
podcast or something and he was saying that
Well, he didn't-
JD's lost control over those two?
Well, he come out and said that they had a video. They said, oh, yeah, there's a video of all the leaving people at the end of the year. First one that came up was Josh Mansour, and he goes, oh, I'm leaving, am I?
Oh, wow.
It would have been a shock.
Yeah.
Mm.
What a way to tell your players that
Mm.
rather than have the balls to come up and say, look, mate, sitting you down where you're leaving next year, we've got no room for you. Yeah, just here's a video.
Can I put something out there that
Yeah.
we have the viewers write into the podcast and put their view in, and we'll take a percentage vote of what they think about the Latrell and what should be warranted. So what they say.
Plain and simple. Not just the Latrell, it's for anyone.
Yeah,
If
for
there's
anyone.
rules set, everyone should be.
Yeah.
We-
But let them have the say to us.
Oh, 100%.
Yep.
But the thing is, my view is, if everyone wants to be treated the same, well, you've got to have the same rules to everyone.
Hmm.
Anyway, moving on.
Number 2. I don't like this one real much, but why did Luai get in trouble for the trip on Moses, but RCG did the same thing on Taruva, and there was no one better than Eyelid, Matt Brown. He must be a Penrith supporter, is he?
If it's the Matt Brown, I know, yes.
100%. I agree.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
Tripping? No, it's not in.
But my point is there, how did they not see it? You've got a line. Well, you've got two people on the line that run up and down the line. Don't know what the hell they do. A referee, and you got a bunker.
And a bunker.
Depends on the contact, though.
Well, okay. Bob, just put RCG on report for a potential trip back there, and we'll let the judiciary sort
check
out.
it.
Fair enough.
Otherwise, it'll get like soccer,
Mhm.
where they stick their foot out and they're doing hurdles in the ground and crying, and you know what I mean. But yeah,
I'm not saying-
let the judiciary, because I don't think he actually knocked him over where Moses actually fell, didn't he?
I think Moses slipped. Hence why he's got away.
I think
with it.
Moses did a bit of drama class on the field.
No, we don't do that.
So
No.
No, they
this,
just kiss.
is this a
we
difference?
just
kiss.
Is this a difference where there's impact and no impact?
Yep.
Mm.
Trip's a trip, but
A trip's a trip,
Under
or
the
even an
rules.
attempted trip.
that's right.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, okay, we're not going to penalise it on there because we missed it, but Jim Short's in the bunker. He got it, so we're just going to put it on report and we'll deal with it later.
Yeah.
Happy days.
It's either a yes or a no, or slap on the wrist, or $100 fine, or something.
I mean,
I
the bunker's tipping the ref off with other things anyway, so they can do
Honestly,
that.
though, I think they need to just put their whistle away and let the game flow.
100%.
If someone trips someone, so be it. Harden up, get up, play the game.
Yeah, or okay, let the match review committee sort that out. Is that a better option? Say, okay, let's let the game flow. Let's take these penalties out. And if there's a little instance like that, rather than pulling it up all the time, let the match review committee go through it after the game and go, well, yep, this needs looking at. Yeah.
Yep.
Hmm.
Number 3. What happened to the Dragons? They win convincingly against the Titans in round 1, then get flogged by the Dolphins, who got flogged by the Cowboys in round 1. To not put any points on the board after that, fans should be asking questions. Scotty N.
Oh, I didn't really watch the game, so I can't say much.
I'll say one word. It was the Titans. That's what they won.
Okay.
I didn't see the game.
It was the Titans. I mean, don't get me wrong, the drag queens will come a lot better this year. But, you know, everyone's jumping up and down. Oh, yeah, they smashed the Titans. It's the Titans. Titans had a few out, and let's be honest, they're probably my favourites for wooden spoon.
Okay.
Titans.
They're a club in crisis, I think. I don't think Desi's going to have it all, you know, nice little holiday up there.
Do you think Des is going to warm up to it or warm into it during the season and get a few wins? Because Des is Des.
Oh, possibly. 100%. He will get some wins, but I just can't see him. I don't know. That club, to me, I like the Titans. I'm glad they're in the competition, but they're just not a premiership threat, I don't think. Not even a top 8 potential threat. I mean, they got some more up players, but then they let good ones go. Like, you know, they let Greg Marshall go.
Like they said, you know, one player leaves one club, goes to another, and they perform.
Yeah, well, true.
You know, a lot
I mean,
better.
they got Chris Randall offers, and Chris Randall's a gun. But yeah, I mean, if you don't put Titans through the dreaded wooden spoon, who you going to put? Who else they said?
St.
Drag ones?
George. Tigers.
Tigers.
Yeah, Tigers will surprise some people this year.
think
I reckon they'll click, and all of a sudden they'll click. And if they got a healthy Appy, healthy Clemmer, and a few others, I reckon they're not going to set the house on fire.
10th or 11th.
9th.
Yeah, maybe
7, 8.
they won't be last. I don't feel.
No.
I mean, I could be wrong. I don't have my crystal ball, but I think that's the Titans' territory for me.
This one is for Gaz. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, got to read it. Do you think Cartwright will be called up for the Origin? He has been playing it out of his skin. DJ. He has, DJ. Keep watching. I'd say there's a good possibility.
I have heard a rumour of it.
2 games in. It's a bit early.
For me, at the moment, maybe a bench or a shadow player.
What about Hopgood getting picked
Hopgood will be in the Queensland side.
and Cartwright on the other side?
Of course,
They both know each other.
Of course, it's the ex-Penrith players.
Yeah, I don't know. Playing good, but to me, Bryce Cartwright's still hot and cold.
You reckon? I reckon the first 2 games he's been really
Yeah,
good.
first 2 games
Gets
he
a
has,
couple
but
more up, and
how many years has he been cold? I don't know. Maybe he's come out of his shell. You know, hopefully he has.
he's been playing well.
Yeah, time will tell, I suppose. I'll
Is he vaccinated yet?
throw it out there. A question we had on the page this week was Ponga or Walsh for number 1 for Queensland.
Want my vote now?
Yeah.
Walsh.
Not because I like him.
I can't stand him, but
Yeah.
he's playing good
He's-
footy.
he's-
Unfortunately, he's playing out of his eyebrows and playing real well.
Eyelashes.
Eyelashes,
But
same thing.
you want Ponga to concentrate on club games like last year.
Well, someone said too, they'll put Ponga at 6. No way. Ponga's proven he's a fullback.
So would you have him at 14?
Ponga?
Queensland? Yep.
He showed before he come on. What was it? Was it his first game he played? Come on at 14, bang straight away, never scored a try.
Yep.
I mean, it could be an impact play. Or do you push Walsh to 6 and Ponga back to 1? Walsh can play 6. Walsh played 6 for the Warriors, if I'm not correct. 6 or 7.
I mean, during the game, you can chop and change, and
But Ponga's just an outright 1. He's no 6.
No.
Where Walsh played 6. Would he play 5'8" or half for the Warriors for a while?
I don't know. I reckon he could play just about anywhere.
do you think he could play 6 in Origin though?
I think so because it's always a strong team around him.
100%. When you look at Reece Walsh this year or last year, has, unfortunately, I have to admit, set that standard pretty high. The years before when he was at the Warriors, he was good, but he just wasn't that good. Now, no disrespect to Warriors because they've now changed. They're up there with the best of them. But the Warriors team then to the Broncos team that he's in now was two different.
Two different sides.
Yeah.
He was more humble back then.
Yeah, I must say so.
Also, the Warriors had a new coach last year, which would have made a difference.
Yeah, true.
True. But in saying that, he was playing under Brownie. I rate Brownie. I reckon Brownie does a pretty good job. He got the Knights out of the slum, that's for sure. But yeah, it's
Quick question. When I was watching the footy, they was discussing about Cleary and Moses being halfback and 5'8" for the Origin.
I'd do that.
If they're
Only problem is are they both the same kind of dominant half? Will that clash?
Leave Cleary out of it then.
Yeah.
Please.
no,
Yes.
he's too good to be out.
I'll
against the
throw
Origin.
a spanner in there.
Yep.
Luke Brooks is setting the house on fire so far.
At
He
the
is,
moment.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but
Not saying
because of
He's
his
a- yeah.
mental health, I reckon he's had a lot of struggles through the years being at the Tigers. Would you want to throw him in the Origin straight away like this and get his confidence down again if he has a shocker?
leading up to Origin, if he's playing really well, like he has
He
been
got
the
no
past
choice.
2 weeks,
Mm.
he got no choice, and he'd have to stand up. And if he's having hassles after that first game, I don't know, but you'd have to.
I'd ask him
Did-
how he felt. You know?
Do you, I'm not 100% sure, but do they take players in to be just on the sideline watching?
Yes,
Because I think that's where he should be.
Fringe
And
players.
maybe the next
Yeah.
year.
100%. I'm all for if he's capable and he feels he is. Yeah, fine. But I always go back to, I know Luke Brooks has been around for a bit longer than this one, but Jared Mullen. When they threw Jared Mullen in at New South Wales halfback to cover for Joey Johns, that destroyed Jared Mullen. He was never the same player because he didn't have that good of a game. Never played as good again. And I just would hope that they wouldn't do it to, they learn now and go, well, let's not do it to other players. But then you look at Bradman Best. They threw Bradman in last year, killed it.
Set the house on fire.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
You look at past Origin games, who they've thrown in at halfback. Alan Langer. He wasn't, he's just playing Queensland
Is that,
comp.
you mean when he was playing or playing for the 14th man on the field as a water boy?
Yeah.
when he first got picked straight out of the Queensland comp to play with Wally Lewis, and he was just set the game ablaze. He was just brilliant. So I don't know. It depends on your mental strength as to how
100%.
you go. Anyone could have got picked and played alongside Wally Lewis and played well.
I still think too, I mean, a lot of people probably say Cleary's not playing that well, but let's be honest, love him or hate the team, he's probably the best player in the game at the moment. So what that bloke can do with the football, it's hard to leave him out of the blue side. So, I mean, do you build the team around a player like that, which Moses would probably slip straight in?
They used to do that with Ray Price.
Mm.
He was always there and they picked around it on Parramatta to the backbone and, Cleary's in.
Mm.
No.
Yeah.
You just don't want him to get hurt.
I know. No, I just don't want him to miss club games. For Pete.
Mm. Anyway, moving on.
Okay. we're now going to have a word from the gal.
G'day everyone, Blake here from the Gallipoli Legion Club. Just wanted to get your opinion on the Spencer Leniu suspension. Is 8 games too much or was it justified? Cheers.
All right, guys. Yeah, word from the gal. I'll let you answer that one. Being a former.
Geez, 8 weeks. Yeah, I think it was a bit harsh. Now looking at the Latrell Mitchell situation, I think it's very harsh. 4 weeks would have been sufficient.
Yeah, even 4. I mean, okay, I'm totally against racism. You know, as I said before, I don't care if you're black, purple, orange, gay, straight, you're from outer space, whatever. I don't care. We all should get along and be equal. But you watch that audio, Spencer is reacting to something. So I don't think the NRL has looked into, I think they should have looked into why.
The problem is there was no proof that he was reacting to something except for that. And he came out and said that he said it. And the NRL
to finish it.
Yeah.
Well, good on him for owning up, but okay. 4 weeks. Coincidental that it's 9 because it's after, or 8 or whatever it is, because it's after the Broncos game.
Yeah, he'll
Very
be back
coincidental.
round 10.
It gets back to what you were saying earlier. If it's good for one, it's good for all of them. If it's going to be 8 weeks, 8 weeks for everyone.
I think 4 weeks and a fine.
Yes.
Yep.
Would have done him.
Yes.
He did say that something was said to him beforehand, but then he said he doesn't snitch. He doesn't
And if that's the case,
tell on
good
people
on him.
and whatever. And also the grand final where Brisbane were calling most of the Panthers players. I'm not going to repeat it, but it's not language, but you know, they can get away with that. And he comes out with one word and bang, 8 weeks.
But that's the thing too. It's not apparently alleged that by one person that stuff in the grand final said. So many different reports have come out about it. So why is the NRL not even investigating into that? You can't.
Last year.
Yeah, but there's got to be audio tapes
somewhere
with the technology that we've got that they can go back and go, okay. Even if they go, okay, yep, we've found that this is true. If it was, I'll say if it was, get all involved. Say, look, you've been caught. Cut it out, or you'll be going down the same path.
If they can find the person or persons, we've got it. Here it is. Here's the evidence. You've got a cross against your name. Do it again, and you get the 8 weeks. Yeah, you've got to make a stand. Like,
but I take my hat off to Spencer for
100%
coming out and saying, hey, fly me up there out of his own pocket, and he wants to shake his hand.
Exactly.
But for the Broncos to go, no, don't want to bar of it.
No.
Yeah.
I reckon too when he fronted the judiciary, it was, they all wrote written submissions. None of them came down to give evidence, which I think is really poor. If Leniu has to front the judiciary and you're making the complaint or you heard it, come down and give the evidence.
Okay, you're writing that down, did you? Or was it the lawyer that wrote it?
True.
You know what I mean? Like you can't prove that that's been done by this person.
The words that you were saying.
I think it's absolute garbage, to be
The
honest.
Thursday night's game will be interesting.
Just a shame that it doesn't look like Fish is playing.
True.
Unfortunately, but yeah.
Shoulder or something, wasn't it?
Yep.
But it's day by day, so
Week by week.
Yeah, well,
He won't be playing this week.
too early, too soon, I think. You know, if it was say round 19 or whatever, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Resting. Too good of a player to
100%.
get any worse.
Okay, well, we're just quickly on that. Fisher Harris, how do you rate him in the top props of the competition?
He's up there.
Him and probably Payne Haas are probably my number ones, I think.
Yep.
I think. I mean, there's some good props in the game. You got your mate. Yeah. Yeah, Leo's coming up the ranks pretty quickly, but yeah, I still think him, probably Moses Leota as well. They're probably the form too.
You don't win a golden boot if you're not that good.
100%. And how many props have won a golden boot?
Exactly, yeah.
So,
it was a massive shock to me when I found out he did win that. because there's generally halves or backs.
Yeah, and you just go. A lot of people said the same, and I agree too. But you go and you have a look at the work rate he did, and you go, okay, fair enough. And it's good to see that someone outside of a halfback's getting recognition for the work they do, because without them forwards going forward the way they do,
Backs would get smashed.
backs can't do nothing.
Exactly.
So 100% taking your hat off to that. Anyway, moving on. That's word from the gal, wasn't it?
That's, yep, the gal, the Gaz bag and the gal.
Awesome. All right, guys, we might take a short break and be back shortly. All right, guys, welcome back for What Caught My Eye.
Ow! My eye! Ow! 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 Ow!
Starting off this week, Gaz.
What caught my eye on Twitter, which is now called X, there was a post from Gavin Badger about his wife Casey Badger, and it said, "Get you a wife who looks at you like Casey looks at Xavier Coates scoring a try. If you've seen it, she's there."
Yeah. That's funnier because Gavin posted it.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
she was right on the right behind him as he's flying through the air.
It was pretty good. Good caption there.
Yeah,
She's actually a nice lady.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah.
top photo too.
Mm.
Top photo.
Fine.
Mine would be Moses Leota. Sorry, I had a mental blank then. Moses Leota, of course. Just watching him score a try, it just makes me so happy because the look on his face, and you just don't expect it from him. He did
But
it
he
in the
bet-
grand final.
He bet a couple of players to get to the line.
Yeah, and I'm like,
And
why?
with a sidestep.
I'm like, why are these Parramatta players not tackling him? Like, it's like,
Truthfully, if you had a blue and gold jersey, would you have trying to stop him coming at you?
that's why you put your body on the line.
He's a
Yeah,
big
but
unit.
it was nice to see.
It was a good try.
100% it was, and it's good to see some of these bigger boys and the bigger bodies getting over for a try. Just to see the team, how they get around it is pretty good. What caught my eye was the Brisbane Broncos and Souths game. Darren Lockyer went into the change rooms after the game and doing his interviews, and he's standing there, and in the background you could see this little white cake hole of Alfie Langer.
Not actually the cake hole, just
But you
just
see
the
his
butt.
ass, and it was. I'm like, I had to look twice. Yeah, what? So
I'm wondering why he's getting changed there in the first place.
it makes you wonder because
He's
they
a
all got
14th
it,
player, wasn't
Yeah, he thinks he's a player.
Always
Exactly.
the 14th.
It's a
but
bit
they all
weird.
know the cameras are there. It makes you wonder.
Yeah.
Like Brian Tuttle that day throwing undies at Joey Johns. So
Yeah, but he didn't have his bum out.
yeah, no,
he? Way back when ET walked past from the showers. Remember
Yeah.
that?
mm. At his
People
old Jolly Roger out.
Yeah,
Mm.
sued him.
Mm.
Then bought a boat and got a fishing
Yeah,
TV show.
I suppose that's all you got to do.
I'll only get a dinky then.
Blow up one. Jason.
Jeremy Marshall King's absolute monster falcon from Ben
Oh,
Hunt.
Yeah.
Kicked in the head and the ball travelled
See his
30,
eyes?
35 metres. Yeah, he was like a poker machine. That was
How
his
did,
bowling.
how did he get back up?
You know those little doll
eyes in
things
his head?
the kids have and you squeeze them, their eyes pop out?
Yeah,
that's what
it was
happened.
like. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
passed his HIA though.
I don't know how.
Yeah, I don't know. How.
I have
Same.
no idea
That's
how.
worse than any swinging arm.
That
in
is
my
the
opinion.
hardest falcon
Yeah.
I've ever seen.
Oh, it hurts too. Anyone that's been hit in the head with a ball like that, oh, it hurts. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't hurt for 5 minutes. It hurts for a long time.
Probably the thing that may have saved him was he's very close. Like he landed the boot on the ball brilliant,
Oh, yeah,
but he was just here.
Yeah.
Like if it was another 2 or 3 metres back, it might have had more
maybe.
warmth in it.
Maybe.
I don't know. I've never
But,
been hit with a ball that close.
I have when I was playing.
I hope you weren't saying the first thing anyway. Yeah.
After his many years of being married.
Hitting the balls.
On that note, that's not what caught my eye anyway. Anyway, moving on to night of the round. We'll start with you, Jason.
Greg Marju,
Hmm.
cracker game.
Yeah, I had a couple little mistakes here and there, but I think really stood up as usual. And unfortunately, the Knights are going to miss him this week. Yeah, as we'll get into a bit later, it looks like he's got an extended time on the sideline. But one of the nicest blokes you'll meet too, and gives 100% every game.
He's one of the most improved players I think I've seen for a while.
A funny story, actually, when we were at the game, it was a members' appreciation round last year. Kylie obviously wears a Penrith jerseys everywhere. And,
No, I didn't.
oh, you had your hat on.
Yeah.
And
It was hot.
Kylie said something about we'll be here tomorrow for the game, and he said, "Not with that hat on, you won't."
And I said, "You want to make a bet?"
But it was all he was laughing and carrying on. He's just an absolute great guy. He's one of those guys that you want at your club, not just for the way he plays, but for what he brings to the fans and the happiness around the club. It's one of the guys you want at your club. My night of the round was Adam Elliott. 2 tries, and I thought probably played his best game in red and blue so far. I know he's on the losing side, but pretty close to man of the match for me, I feel. He was pretty good, kept us in the game. Adam Elliott for me.
For me, it'd have to be Jack Hetherington. Even though he only played 22 minutes, I feel like he made a big difference while he was out there.
100%. And he laid on that dummy half specialist pass for Adam Elliott to score. And for a big unit like that, that's pretty far between the passes like that, that's for sure. So hopefully that's a sign of things to come for Jack.
And now he's injured.
Yeah, well, our two of our best players on the weekend get injured. So, happy times to the nights ahead.
Mine was Adam Elliott too. Played his butt off for 70 minutes, scored 2 tries and had 44 tackles and 2 line breaks.
So for this week 3, Adam Elliott is night of the round. All right, we'll jump straight into our player of the round as well, which is for all NRL clubs. And I'm going to start it off here. And I know there were some really good performances out there, which I dare say some of you guys will have. But just touching back on what Kylie said about Moses Leota, I found it hard to go past Moses Leota's performance for a front rower. Really set the platform for the Panthers win and scored a try. And that bloke deserves every single thing that comes to him. The hard roads that he took to get to NRL first grade, they're some of the success stories that you like to hear. So, yeah, Moses Leota for me. Kylie?
Mine would have to be the Hammer. He scored a hat-trick on the weekend and just played really well.
Yes, he did. As I said, there's a few that I could have picked, but I'm a big front rower, prop forward fan. So if you see an epic performance from a front rower like that, it's always going to get me. But Gaz?
Mine's Xavier Coates, that try in the dying minutes for the Storm over the Warriors. I picked the Warriors. Good on you, Xavier. It was very impressive, and it was talked about for a very, very long time. But then one of the Knights did the same, didn't he?
Yeah, from old school.
Yeah.
The Rostog.
I didn't see the Storm one, but
It was very similar, but the Rostog didn't do one. Excuse me. He's done a few, but the one that we've posted up earlier, it was probably more acrobatic, I think, maybe than Coates. I mean, Coates was up there with the best of 100%. But
Dom Young did some pretty special ones.
yeah, Dom Young did a pretty good one without flinging him over the head. I mean, there's been some really good ones throughout the years, but that was, I think, because that decided the game as well. That helped
in the
as well.
dying seconds.
But Dallin's done something like that too. DWZ.
Yeah.
What's his full name?
Dallin.
Wateni. Say it.
Yeah, him.
Wateni. Say it.
Wateni.
Zelezniak.
Yeah, that's him.
Blake Ferguson's another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now
Tries like that. Yeah.
who's now a Curry Bulldog just down the road
So
here.
I wonder he's not a soccer
Righto.
player.
Sorry?
So I wonder he's not a soccer player now, the way he used to
Yeah.
dramatise things a bit.
Did you see that one where he was dying, he was hurt, and then all of a sudden the ref blew the
Yeah,
whistle?
yeah,
He got
he
up and he
got
wanted to hit
Started
someone.
going off at Edwards, I think it was. It was funny.
Yeah, but nothing a couple of cruisers won't fix
On the roof.
on the roof.
It'd be
But-
good to see Adam put a montage of things like that if he had them on hand. All
Oh.
the diving, Dom Young.
There's so many of them.
Yeah, wouldn't it be good?
Oh, it would be nice, but
Sitting there with a little dragon.
next week.
Would be good.
Mm.
Hit the spot.
Anyway, yeah, that's who are we going to pick?
I haven't given mine yet.
Yeah, I was waiting.
Oh, sorry, Dad.
Rude.
Do you want yours?
That's
Oh,
rude.
afterthought. No.
Okay, rightio. What's yours?
I'm going to be biased and say Zach Hosking.
Hey, I'll agree
he's had
with you
a
there.
great couple of weeks. Couple of tries from crossfield kicks. 8 points in the Dally M so far. So
I'm spewing we let
Yeah.
him go.
Where'd he come from?
His mum?
Actually, his dad, but Newcastle boy.
Yeah, but we polished him.
Oh, stop it.
We did. But we
Okay.
polish them all.
I've got to agree with Hopgood and a few others.
Thank you.
So who are we going to have for this one, guys?
I'll just write them all down by the end
Yeah,
of
righto.
the year. Whoever's got the most.
Sounds
votes.
good. Also, our photo competition winners for the last 2 weeks. Our first winner was Alison Slee. That's the photo there. And our second one is Kirsty Robinson. So yeah, you guys are for the 2 fridges. So
In the draw.
in the draw.
the
So
draw.
it's on again this week, obviously. So any NRL game, get us a pick. Be creative, and these fridges are great. So what's it going to be like? How many rounds is it? 22 rounds. So you'll be 1 in 22 chances of winning one of 2 fridges. So
We can't enter it.
so it's pretty good odds.
if you win more than 1 week, they're the odds.
Well, that's right. You can enter as many times as you want. So you might win 12.
If
So-
you're lost after having 12, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah, it'd probably be my luck. But anyway, we'll take another short break and be back shortly. All right, guys, it's that time of night again. It's time for talking. And caller number 1, who we got there? Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, g'day, mate. Yeah, you're on the air, mate.
Yeah, g'day. Hello, this sounds like the nighttime podcast. Now, I'm ringing up simply because, one, I am a journalist, and I thought that, if I ring up the nighttime podcast show, I might be able to sort of gain a little bit more respect from your panel as opposed to the panel that I often sit on. You're probably wondering who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, my name is Ruz, R-U-Z-Z, and Bothfield, B-O-T-H-F-I-E-L-D.
Nice.
Yeah. What can we do for you, Mr. Buffield?
Well, I'm just ringing up in regards to, especially, I'm very disappointed of late in some of the behaviour of the NRL stars. And personally, I've been around for a long time, and I must admit that, back in my day, you wouldn't be caught, using that kind of language anywhere, let alone on a public platform.
Yeah, no, it was a little bit of a hot topic this week, and yeah, we don't agree with it either.
Well, I'd just like to bring up that it gets me a little bit hot under the collar, and you never hear me and swearing, and carrying on with this bad language, because I tell you what, blokes would pull you up if you started swearing around the place, and I just reckon they're all a bunch of and that's just not on as far as I'm concerned. But who cares what an old codger like me thinks?
Well, yeah.
Exactly right. We've kicked this topic around earlier. It's it's not on. Shouldn't be on. No swearing and carrying on, and just
There's a time and place for it, really. Isn't
Yeah.
there?
Oh, there is, and let's talk about if it's not on. It's not on. Obviously, it wasn't on because we wouldn't have blokes like that talking because they wouldn't have been born in the first place.
Oh,
Yeah, well, just a bit rude.
Back in the day, when players were getting interviewed after the game, there was no language, but there was a lot on the field.
Well, what about that fella back in the day? Excuse me.
Well, I think you're about to bring up a Mr. Sam Bacco.
Nah, bloke of Todd. No, when he went up and started playing for
Brent Todd.
Was it Brent Todd? Then he went up and started playing for the Seagulls, Gold
Yep.
Coast Seagulls, and he
Oh,
said you're
yeah.
going up for the money, and he goes, "No, I just want up, beep, all the
I
women."
actually think I might have even been interviewing him or been on the panel then. Back in those days, we used to put an old tape recorder down. But he was very, very impressed with the meter maids up there on the Gold Coast.
Yeah, it was a little bit here going off for,
We heard
but
something like that was going on.
yeah.
Unlike Arnold Schwarzenegger, he was all about trying to meet a maid, and he did. And look what that sort of trouble he got in with that.
I can't remember the player's name after the Tigers grand final. Was interviewed by Matty Johns, and he let fly with a few. But
Chris
Chris
Hyington.
Hyington, yeah. But he didn't say, "Oh, I'm swearing and I don't care." It was just the excitement of winning a grand final and everything.
But that sort of you can let slip a little bit and it was one word, and he didn't even remember. He was just that. But do you remember Matty John's face when he said it?
Yeah.
It's a little bit double-edged sword, I suppose. I mean, you're getting hold of these characters right after a game when they're highly charged and emotional, So I guess it is a double-edged sword, but I suppose at the end of the day, you just can't have that kind of behaviour going out to the kiddies out there. I mean, I actually think that language can cause a young kiddie to lose his way and become an echet.
Well, I'm in trouble then because you should watch me. You should hear me watching football.
Trust me, you don't want to. Honestly,
it's disgusting.
the kids and I all they were on the weekend. We all just went at the same time.
And speaking of ridiculous things happening at South, now Lachlan Ilias, what's going on there? I mean, I do feel that he's the fall guy for all this. I mean, there was a lot of other fellas out there who are superstars of the game, and he became the fall guy for a bad South performance.
100%.
I mean, come on.
100%. Okay, so if you're dropping Lockie Ilias, does that mean Cody Walker should go too? Because he's his halves partner and didn't really perform either?
Ilias played better than Walker.
100%.
He's an absolute scapegoat this week.
And I think it's disgusting.
Efforts were absolutely fantastic.
Who's that, sorry?
Ilias.
Young Lachlan Ilias.
Yes. That was right. It's it's not protecting the young kids of the game really because he's still only a kid.
That's true. Anyway, I've banged on about South enough now, so I'll let you get back to your fine show, and I'll get back to my journalism and my chicken curry.
Yeah, say good day to Brave for us and give that other crocodile an uppercut for us. And
can I just quickly say, you guys are absolutely wonderful. Usually I'm just copping a bag and off all those other guys, so it's really good to talk to a bunch of people that appreciate me for just who I am.
Oh,
no worries, mate.
That's what we like here.
You're welcome.
Which is an old journalist that loves, getting in his budgie smugglers and heading down for a swim of a morning at Nobby's Beach.
I'm going to poke my eyes out with a fork.
Yeah, well, you should know here we accept the old fellas.
They got me here. They're all looking at me.
Thanks, champion. Okay. Thanks for your call.
No problem. My test results have come back in, so I better shoot off.
No worries, champion. You enjoy.
Okay, hooroo.
Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.
All right, guys, time for caller number 2. Who we got there?
Delwyn Vassallo.
G'day, Delwyn. What's your question for us tonight?
How do you think Penrith will go against Brisbane?
Kylie.
I think it'll be a close game. It depends on if Payne Haas is playing. I think they're saying he's injured, but I think that's just mind games. Adam Reynolds isn't playing and Fisher Harris isn't playing. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. I'll be swearing, no doubt.
That Paul Amorotti, is he in yet?
Nope. Alamotti.
That's him. This one's going to be a hard one.
Close but hard.
That's at Penrith?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I reckon Penrith Penrith will get him. Home ground advantage. Started playing a lot better football last week. Brisbane have been playing good, but
it was just Parramatta.
Yeah, true. Fisher Harris is a huge loss.
Yes.
But Penrith have got that mentality of next man in, and they seem to do a job. So I hope for my sake that Penrith win.
I got the Broncos. Broncos are going to,
No.
Who invited him?
Invited myself.
I,
I honestly, I think Brisbane going well,
Mm.
and if their players if the players that have been fire again this week, I think it's I think
And
they
they'll
got
want
them.
revenge.
Me, I want,
They will too.
Mm.
who's filling in for Adam Reynolds?
I did say we'll get into that later.
Mm.
Because that's a big question mark.
That is a big pair of shoes to fill.
And Payne Huss. If Payne Huss is playing, I'm going to lean a couple of points towards Brisbane for me.
Well, it's a toss of the coin on the panel here. Two say Penrith, two say Broncos. So unfortunately, we can't help you out there unless you listen to the crazy lady and
So the
myself.
halfback for Broncos is Jock Madden.
That's
Oh,
it.
there you go.
Jock Madden goes all right too.
He's played 100 games or something, hasn't he?
Has he?
Come from the Tigers.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure I saw somewhere he's close to.
It's not a bad little talent. I mean, but there's a big pair of shoes to fill for Adam Reynolds. But saying that, he's got a little chance here to prove himself and might take it with.
He has.
But yeah, if I'm Moses Leota and Scott Sorensen and
Targeting.
I think you'll find Liam Martin will target him. I mean, he's good at that. So Penrith in a tight one.
Who do you think, Delwyn?
I'm with Penrith all the way.
And if they lose, you going to cry on Chris's shoulder?
No.
All right, no worries. Well, hopefully that's answered your question for you. And in the draw for tonight's winner to go into the draw for the $150 cash thanks to Nighttime Podcast, or the $250 voucher thanks to Sayers Inc. Tattoos.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. Thanks for your call. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Bye.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys, caller number 3. Who we got there?
Yeah, we've got Corey. Mate, how are you?
G'day, Corey. How are you, mate?
Not bad. I just thought I'd ring you guys up tonight to thank you for the opportunity that you guys gave me last week being on the panel. It was a tremendous experience, and mate, every fan of the show's got to get on Facebook and show their interest because it's a great experience. And the hospitality, you, Schmidt, and the crazy lady and all of your amazing crew in front of the camera and behind the camera made me so welcome, and I can't wait to do it again. So thank you guys so much.
I agree
and
with
I
you.
wanted to take this time to let you guys know that.
Yeah, I agree with you. This is my second time on, and the first time was an eye-opener and a learning experience. But, I'm with you. The hospitality and the people involved are all great. So, yeah, well done.
That's
Not going to be able to get out of here now. No, that's too big.
Heads are too big.
no. It's to be honest, it's a pleasure to have different people and give other people the experience of what we do and have a little bit of fun. And if we're making a few people happy out there, not just by the show but including them, well, we're all for it. And yeah, we're glad we can help people. That's for sure.
Got to have a few more people right in.
Yeah, well, we did have a bloke coming tonight, but he's got a flat tire apparently. So
No spare.
well, I didn't get into that, but he was. Shannon was coming in. But yeah, maybe next week we might have someone else on. So yeah, mate. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and
He hasn't got a question. Any kind of question, Corey?
First off, I was watching a few of the games this weekend. The Melbourne Warriors game, absolute nail-biter of a game. But got to say, the game between the Knights and the Cowboys, that was sitting on the edge of your seat performance. Did you guys agree with those two games?
I don't know about sitting on the edge of your seat, but I was sitting at the edge of the TV about to throw it out the window.
I was at an old boys' day on Saturday with group of blokes I used to play football with, and the 3 games are on behind us, and 2 close games. Like I don't know how this. Well, I was going to say I don't know how the Storm got away with it, but they usually do. Pull it out of the fire.
I will go as far as saying I don't think the Cowboys played well enough to win. I think towards the end we played badly enough to let them win. I mean, hats off, they won. They got the points, they got the chocolates, but hopefully it's a learning experience for us for this week and can go that one step more and pull the pants down on the Storm blows and get the chocolates. So hopefully that answers your question for you, mate.
Yeah, you kind of think of the same way as I did, but yeah, it's good catching up with you guys, and can't wait to see you guys again.
Too easy, champion. I'm glad you enjoyed it, and thanks for calling in.
Yeah, no worries, brother.
Yeah.
Too easy.
See you, Corey.
Bye.
All right, guys, it's time for caller number 4. Who we got there?
Jason.
Jason. How you going, champion?
Good, mate. Good. Self?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. What's your question for us this week?
Just who and two teams that impressed you the most this round in both in these 2 rounds, and the player that impressed you the most?
Ooh.
And it's not to be gambled.
Yeah. Someone watches the show.
It's Leo Thompson, bro.
For me, the Warriors and Broncos, and
Oh, I bet you I know which 2 players impressed you the most. Who are the 2 that were kissing last week?
no.
Oh, yeah. Mate, love on the field is a major thing.
I take it you're a Parramatta fan too.
You know I am.
I was going to say Clint Gutherson's been impressive.
Yeah,
He's all over the field every time.
Yeah. Well,
I'd have to say probably Raiders because they're 2 from 2, and Manly. I think they were really good on the weekend.
you can't argue with that. Player,
Um,
come back to that one.
Moses
Pappenhausen.
Pappenhausen.
still again.
Yeah.
The
2 weeks
Greyhound.
running.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a hard one to be honest. I mean, they haven't. Yeah.
Hasn't got right into it yet, but
But yeah, I'd probably have to say, unfortunately, the Broncos are one of them. Manly have impressed, but I know they haven't won, but I have been impressed with the Warriors. I think they're going to go pretty well this year, but I mean, they have impressed me, and I've said it earlier for my player of the round this week, and he's really impressed me was Moses Leota this year. So yeah, Moses gets my vote, but just so you're a little smart, Alex, it's not Gamble, it's Leo Thompson anyway.
Jason?
I'm the same. Yeah, Raiders and Manly really stood out. Manly's really stood out. I said the first time I was here, I've got them running 5th.
Yeah.
I think they're going good. Player of the first 2 rounds, Zach Hosking, like I said earlier, he's played well the last 2 weeks. And Luke Brooks.
I was about to say, I'll throw Luke Brooks up for a smoky too.
I think surround him with good players in a good environment, and he's thriving. So those 2.
Did you ever think this time last year that you'd be saying Luke Brooks is having a, you know what I mean? Like,
I picked him before the comp started. He was going to improve, and Manly were going to improve.
Yeah, but I mean, like this time last year.
Dino,
But so good to know.
I've got a question to the whole panel. I've seen it on your website, on the Facebook, sorry. Ponga or Walsh for the Origin? What's the panel's take on that?
Walsh.
Yeah, we answered this one earlier. It's Walsh.
Yeah, Walsh.
Yeah.
Definitely Walsh.
I'm leaning towards Walsh.
Yeah.
And Moses over Cleary.
No.
I hate Moses.
I'm serious.
I hate Manly with a passion, but Walsh, I think he'll come in his own on the Origin.
Is that Moses Leota?
No,
Moses should be Moses is better than Cleary. It's just
some fun.
Reminds me
Sorry.
of a blow-up doll. Cleary reminds me of a blow-up doll. You can always let him down.
Oh yeah, you mean that blow-up doll you left me? Thanks for that.
Anyway, hopefully that answered your question, and you're in the draw for the Sayers Inc. tattoo voucher of $150 cash, thanks to Sayers Inc. and the Nighttime Podcast.
No worries, thank you.
Oh, mate, enjoy the rest of the show.
No dramas. Have a good night.
Cheers.
Thanks,
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll see you.
All right, guys, it's time for caller number 5. Who we got there?
Hello, Dean. How are you?
You're probably the only caller that calls in and calls me Dean, so I think I know who this one is.
Well, that is your name, isn't it?
Well,
I have to call you other things if you wish.
I bet you could. Yeah, it's good to hear from you, Simon. And Yeah. What's your question for us, mate?
Oh, you sound a bit flat tonight. Are you okay?
Oh, a little bit warm in this studio tonight. The air conditioner isn't fixed as yet, but we're working on it.
I just had to make sure that you weren't flat, that you were up and at 'em, as they say.
Fair enough.
We're all hot here, Simon.
Well, some of you are.
I think my
Especially
ass
you,
is
my
stuck to the
silver
seat.
fox.
Yeah.
What's your question there, mate?
Well, not so much as a question, more of an observation. I find that the team on the weekend, they did all they could to lose that game. How funny was that?
Yeah, they tried, but towards the end they threw it away, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll bounce back this weekend and learn from that mistake.
There were two different teams, I'm sure, after half time. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
You mean the half that Hetherington didn't play?
True.
Well, yes, that's possibly one of the things, yes.
Yeah, but yeah, as you know, we'll get into a bit later. There's been some changes to the team this week, so it could be good for not just the team, but for the ones that have been relegated to New South Wales Cup or whatever. It could be good for their confidence as well. Maybe not see it as a kick in the butt, but more or less a confidence building to head back down to New South Wales Cup and have a run and build your confidence and come back. That happens.
Yeah, it does. Having a someone spank you is not a bad thing, of course. No.
Well, each to their own, I suppose. But you could take that and build on your confidence. And a lot of players throughout their career have been relegated back down to Reggie's, and look at Dom Young last year was pushed back to Reggie's, come back and started killing it again.
Sorry, that name no longer has any meaning for me whatsoever, even if he's a big, tall, handsome, dark man.
I thought you'd like her. I won't go there. I thought you were into the team from Bondi.
Oh, come on. You know I'm just a Knights man now.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, so
anything, goodness me.
Once a night, always a night.
Yes, you have to have all sorts of fans, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
And air conditioners, but we don't have one. But so hopefully that can answer your question for you.
Well, I guess it's adequate. I just couldn't believe what I saw in the weekend. The easy ball drops, the forward passes, the loose carries. It was a completely different team.
Is it just me though? But most of the games on the weekend, there were a lot of mistakes in.
Yep. But we've got to remember too, it's round 2.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like it was across the board. It wasn't just one or two teams.
Start of the season, first 2, 3, 4 games is going to be mistakes.
Yeah.
Within this week, next week, and definitely by the weekend after, things would have to start being 100% in glass. But I also say some of the players, not just on the Knights, but on other teams too, they got to take a good hard look at themselves in the mirror and go, I'm on $800,000-$900,000 a year or whatever. I've got to start earning that money.
Yeah.
Like doctors and nurses aren't even on that kind of thing, and they save lives. So for them to go out and play rugby league, which is, it's all good, but they've got to start earning that. They've got to play decent, not just walk out there and play, mediocre football.
Jersey.
Yeah, play for the pride in the jersey and your fans, because at the end of the day, if there's no fans, there's no team, there's no club. There's no
the Prime Minister's on a third of that.
Yeah, but he don't deserve it.
No, you're right. They don't deserve it. But we're talking about mistakes in the first couple of rounds, and not that I'm picking on the Knights at all, but the first round, the Raiders had 100% completion rate in the second half, and they just gave nothing away.
It's what wins games.
It is what wins games, but
But the thing, the Knights now have lost 2 games. These are the games that the Knights need to win. Because coming later on in the year, you're going to go, oh, shit, if only we won that game or we lost that game by 2. They're the ones that are going to count to get you in that 8.
Well, it takes you back to the Golden Point game against the Panthers last year, doesn't it?
Well, we actually played really well that game. So
we should have won that one as well.
We should have, yeah. But I can handle losing a game like that. If I'll say my boys from my team put in 100% effort, and you can see the effort's there, and they try their backside off and they lose.
All fair.
mate, I can handle a loss, so to speak. But if my team doesn't put that effort in and they lose, I can't handle that.
Yeah.
But if they go out there and try their backside out, that's all we can ask them.
I like seeing a team try their backside out, that's for sure.
I bet you do. But yeah.
Can I ask Simon a question?
The problem is though that we're down the bottom and Manly have won too. It's just not right.
Can you just, when you're talking, refrain from using words like bottom and that? It's just not right with you.
Terribly sorry about that.
No worries. Here goes.
Can I ask you a question, Simon?
Anything for you, Silver Fox.
Thank you. I was going to ask the panel earlier, but you're a man of knowledge and stuff. The golden point, I'd like it to go back to 10 minutes each way after the game and then go to golden point. But they play the full 10 minutes each way.
I'm happy for 5 each way.
That'd be dead.
Because they're talking
That's the thing. It's going to bring out the
they,
man.
They won't do that. So I'm happy with 5 each way. Sort of meet in the middle.
Yeah.
But I like your concept.
Meet in the middle.
I'm happy with extra time, but just not golden
I'm happy
point.
to go.
No.
Yeah,
Play the full extra time, and what the score is after that is the score.
Yeah.
Sorry, Simon?
Yeah, no, I'm happy to go each way as well. It seems
bet you
that
are.
He wants to meet in the middle.
it's all yes, and then meet in the middle of course. But we've seen that that the golden point is often just the luck of the kickoff.
Exactly.
And
so, yes, I'd like to see extra time. Seeing all those boys running around, pounding into each other would be wonderful.
I bet. What if it was 5 minutes extra time? If it's still a draw, then golden point.
Yep.
Because how many times really a year are we going to see that? No, it's not going to be a lot.
No.
And I think you need the 2 lots of extra time. So you're running the other way in the second half, just not, So like 5 minutes each way, 10 minutes each way, but play the whole lot, not golden point.
If you've got a team and hasn't got a, in brackets, specialist drop kicker, you've got to get up to try and score a try.
Or there's another option. Instead of golden point, golden try.
Yep.
That's been fought over for years.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just think, like you said,
it brings out, when you're buggered, the other team will run over the top of you.
You
So
play
go,
with a team like Cleary, or even, instead of going to the Penrith all the time, we'll go somewhere else. You play with a team like the Bulldogs. They've got multiple drop kickers in that team that, if they get up there, you're screwed because you got Burton, you got Crichton, you got Kurt Mann, you got Toby Sexton when he's on, Hutchinson.
Yeah, Drew Hutchinson.
There's 5.
Well, even with the Cowboys, you had Valentine Holmes who can kick it from 100 miles.
Yep. Yeah, as much as I hate to say it, Latrell Mitchell, he kicks them from near halfway.
Yes, but then he abuses the ball and says something naughty to it after.
We need more forwards taking field goals like Mark Carroll did.
Yep.
I don't know if I could picture James Fisher-Harris drop kicking or Leo Thompson.
You
up
never
there.
know. They might have a hidden talent.
On a side note, did you see Yo kick the ball?
Yes.
Yep.
That's the second time too. Exact same spot.
Yep.
And he's backed himself, but I like that. That brings, a bit more excitement to the game.
That brought tears to my eyes, that try. Because, what was his name for Para? He's a new boy. When they scored.
Nobody cares about Parramatta, Gary.
Shut up, you. What's his name?
I don't know. You're the Parramatta fan.
I had it on my lips just a minute ago.
Him or the name?
But you did, Gary. And
number 4. Anyway, he didn't contest the ball. He was only worried about tackling the Penrith guy when he caught the ball. And he just rolled over him and scored. If he would have contested the ball, he was taller than him. He might have had a 50-50 chance of coming away with the ball.
Oh, you mean Bert Ernie? What's his name?
The new one they bought.
Yeah, from Manly.
Morgan Harper.
Yeah,
Morgan
that's
Harper.
That's him.
Yeah. He looks like Bert and Ernie.
Bert.
Before he had his haircut.
But once Simonson went off.
I know it. I know a guy who's like Bert too.
Not so much anymore. But, mate, good to hear from you again, and hopefully that answered your call, mate, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the show, and go the Knights, eh?
Go the Knights, and love to Christopher, love to Gary, and Crazy Lady. Wonderful win on the weekend, but I wish you guys would just stop doing that.
Who?
Winning. Panthers.
We've only won one.
I know, but you've had a pretty good run. Give it to someone else.
No, we licked it. It's ours.
Okay, fair enough. Well, I asked.
We're waiting for them souffles too.
Yes.
So,
In any case, it's wonderful to speak to you.
You too,
You
mate.
too.
Have a wonderful weekend and a lovely rest of the evening. Stay hot, stay juicy, and stay toasty, and I'll speak to you again soon.
No worries.
Okay.
Enjoy, champion.
Take care.
See ya.
See you, son.
Okay.
Bye, mate.
All right, guys, that's Talking Schmidt for this week. So who are we going to give the prize to? It was, some good calls there.
Melvin, Corey, Jason, or Simon?
Tough one.
Jason.
Why not?
All right, Jason. Jason, you are this week's winner for Talking Schmidt into the draw to win the tattoo voucher or the cash, thanks to Nighttime Podcast and Sayers Inc. So we might take a short break and be back shortly. All right, guys, welcome back, and it's time for the week that was. And joining us again is Elliot up there in Townsville. How are you, champion?
Yeah, well, guys, how are you?
Rather warm, but we're soldiering on.
It was a bit like that up here on the weekend, to be honest. It was obviously the Cowboys' nice game. I think we kicked off at the feels like it was 32 degrees. And the yellow trainer rule in effect, which basically meant any team on attack could have extra trainers out running water. It was I was thinking particularly of Kai Pearce-Paul. He played 80 minutes, and they would have been the most stifling conditions he ever played in.
Oh, 100%. He'd be used to the cold, yeah. I tell you
exactly.
what, that rule would really suit the Broncos, wouldn't it?
Oh.
So you can have the trainer on whenever you want, so Alfie could stay on.
He is anyway.
Without the rule.
Yeah.
Mate, we'll dive straight into it. Speaking of Broncos, mate, first game off the rank was 28-18 over the Rabbits. Yeah. Is there a team at the moment better than the Broncos?
I would have said no, but I think what Penrith did to Parramatta, and we'll get into that, was pretty close. But no, I think the scary thing is Brisbane. I don't think they'll play a worse game than that all year. They dropped a lot of ball. Their attack was clunky. I actually found that game really hard to watch because these are two teams that should be relatively good quality. And it took until about, I reckon, 50 minutes in for the Broncos to click properly. But danger signs for South. So I left South out of my top 8 at the start of the year, and I'm sure there's a number of things I'll get wrong in the 8, but I left them out of the 8. And I'm still confident in doing it, even with your Jack Whitens, etc. coming back. There's something not quite right in the Burrow at the moment. We saw Josh Mansell's interview on the buy round about his exit from the club, and I don't think all is well there right now, and they should have won that game with how Brisbane turned up, to be honest. They didn't, and I think it's dire straits for them at the moment.
Yeah, you got to feel for young Lockie. He's been really the scapegoat. I mean, I didn't think he played as badly as Cody Walker, to be honest. So, I mean, if I'm a coach and I'm coaching the Rabbits, I would more want to take the young bloke under my wing, say, look, mate, you're going to get there, yeah. That's just going to, I think it's just going to derail his confidence more.
Yeah, I agree with that, and we've seen it happen in the past with other players as well. I can't really fathom giving a bloke 2 games, and we'll go into the Newcastle situation with Cogger coming in for Hastings soon, but that's a little bit different. You know, you've got Dean Hawkins who's coming in, who's a guy that's playing okay in reserve grade from all reports, rather than, you know, a half that's been banging down the door and killed it at the Panthers. So, yeah, I agree with you. I feel for Lockie, but, you know, he'll have an opportunity to win the jersey back, but yeah, there's bigger problems than the number 7 at the moment.
Talking about South and how bad it is down there, I've been hearing the last few days that Demetrio could be the next coach sacked during the year.
Well, I don't go into the whole, like, especially with the Knights, I'd never got into the O'Brien has to go, whatever. You know, that's not me. I don't agree with getting in that part personally. But if all reports of what's been coming out with Mansour and all these other, that maybe maybe there needs to be a move on of personnel.
Well, also, there's the Wayne Bennett effect. Whoever comes in after him at a club always
Mm.
struggles. So
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think the two coaches under the most pressure are probably Jason Lamitro and I'd argue Brad Arthur from Parramatta too. They've obviously, even losing last week, they still had a pretty hot start to the year. They've looked a better side than they were last year.
would you throw
the other one-
Seraldo in that list?
No. Again, you know, he came to the club a year earlier than he kind of had to, and I think regardless of ladder position, I would suggest he'll be there for a couple of years at least. Don't get me wrong, you know, you need results in this game, but I think they'll have a longer leash, for lack of a better term, than they have in the past with coaches with Seraldo. And I actually think it doesn't read it. I think their attack's been a bit clunky, but I actually think they've played better footy. I think the best decision the club's made is to bring in Stephen Crichton. I think he's the best centre in the game, and the making captain, I think, was a genius move too.
Sorry, mate, you didn't. Obviously, you couldn't say that, but Kylie's nose just turned up.
Apologies, Kylie.
growling without the noise.
Hey, that Tungo bloke you've got, he's not too bad. What do you have, 6 line breaks the other night? He was unbelievable.
We'll get into that soon. There's some really good, but
Just quickly though, going back to that Broncos and Souths game, what the hell was going on between Mitchell and Reece Walsh at the end when they were laying on the ground?
It was pretty funny, wasn't it? I think Walsh had a cramp, and then I think Latrell was just absolutely exhausted with a mix of cramp as well. Almost looked like they were having a spooning session on the ground. But
one was kissing the other's neck.
The way I saw it was Walsh coming a little bit late, and I think Mitchell wanted to go on with it and realised who it was, and they were just like, let's just let it go.
Nah, from all reports, I've only ever spoken to them both a couple of times, but all reports, they both got a lot of respect for the other. I think it was just two of the alphas of the game coming together, but they were just both absolutely exhausted and ready for full time.
How's the Broncos winning a scrum against the feed?
Yeah, that's
Bit
very
of a throwback.
unknown.
Yeah,
considering you're feeding into the second row now, you don't lose scrums.
No.
Like that was a different one, mate. Moving on to Sharks and the as we were saying, the Bulldogs there 25-6. I actually watched this game and it sort of blew out at the end, I thought, but the Dogs are starting to look okay in patches. Like things are starting to happen. I think, call me biased, but I like when Kurt Mann comes on. He starts to change a lot and they start playing a lot better. I just think Toby Sexton probably needs to be their halfback. But yeah, I mean, when you got a team with Crichton in it, as you said, Viliame Kikau starting to show some form that we know of, I think the Dogs are only, just around the corner to start and turn the form around, personally.
Yeah, and I think what we'll see, and I agree with you, I think Toby Sexton should be there for Hutchison. I think what we'll see come to the end of this year or even halfway through, pending who's doing what, is halfback watch for them. I think they land a big fish, and that'll be their next big fish to get to the next level. They'll look at, who knows, if Lockie Ilias ends up being in the nose at South. There's Chad Townsend's off contract to the Cowboys end of this year. There's a few others. I think they're a controlling halfback, a veteran halfback away from really competing. No disrespect to Drew Hutchison, but not much good came out of his hands in attack in that game. But I agree with you. I thought it was actually the best game Matty Burton's played in the six in a long time. He was dangerous when he ran the ball, when he had a little bit of space too. And I tell you who I like is Big Sam Hughes off the bench. A bit of size, some skill to him as well. There's some good players coming through.
Would you move Burton to the centres with Crichton?
At this stage, no, mate, because who are you going to put in six? They just, at the moment, they don't have the depth. It's just the unfortunate reality. If they do that, then you have to play Hutchison and Sexton in the halves, and I'd prefer to have the bigger body of Burton in there.
True. That's really good. Moving on to the Panthers, 26 over the Eels, 18. Sorry, you cut out there, mate. You there?
Yeah, no, I tipped Parramatta in this game, and I felt like a genius for about half an hour. I tipped on form. I didn't see much from the Panthers in week one. As you guys know, they're a championship team, but they can be a little bit slow to get going. But certainly wasn't the case there. There were some really good signs. I think I heard it discussed this week, and it's rightfully so. If James Fisher-Harris is the best or second best prop in the game, then, geez, Moses Leota's probably on the podium.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought he was outstanding, and I know they don't have him this week, Fisher-Harris, but yeah, the footy Moses Leota plays, the menace he brings, and the pure pace he has for a big bloke too is incredible.
Mate, and he bet, 3 or 4 blokes going to the try line. That was...
Yeah.
Oh, mate. Honestly, he got... I know there's been a lot of good players this round, but he really stood out, and he got my vote for player of the round this week. I love to watch a good prop, mobile like that. He's a real success story too out at Penrith, how he had to get to first grade, working and then training, working and training, full-time job. So, absolutely love watching him play. The Eels, just not quite good enough, but I think they'll bounce back. What's his name? The one I keep talking about. I've forgotten his name now. Come from Penrith. Jermaine Hopgood.
Hopgood, yep.
Yeah. He just gets better and better each week.
Yeah, he's a machine. He really is, and he's one of those players. If he doesn't play Origin this year, he'll be very, very close. I know he was in the squad last year for Queensland, but he's the kind of player that's built for that kind of thing. My only worry with the Eels at the moment, just with suspensions and injuries, is their outside back. I think they end up having to move Tuolagi into the centres, and we saw Tungo had 6 line breaks, which is more than most teams get a game. I think this weekend I've had to move Morgan Harper to a wing as well. That's my only concern with them for now, but Bryce Cartwright's playing good footy. Joey Lussick's been a bit of a revelation. It looks like he's going to play 80 minutes again this week. They've dropped Brendan Hands. And Dylan Brown, I actually thought, is popping up in big moments, which has always been the question about him. So Parramatta are a team that look better than I thought they might to start the year. I think they'll be fine, and I'm sure we'll get into it, but they play Manly this weekend in arguably the game of the round.
Dylan Edwards ran for 226 metres, while Gutho only racked up 141. Lazy.
Yeah, he's just a workhorse, isn't he? And I know you guys have watched Dylan Edwards live a number of times. I suggest anyone that hasn't seen him live, whether you live in Newcastle, wherever you might be, the next time the Panthers are playing, try and go and just watch him for 10 minutes. In terms of effort areas, I think he's the best effort area player in the comp. He's everywhere at all times. The way he plays his footy, I like him to Mika Upton in that.
Yes.
Everywhere, at all times, incredibly fit. He's a little bit more aerodynamic with a shaved head now too, but he was outstanding.
What about Isaac Targo for Panthers centre? 273 metres and 9 tackle breaks.
Yeah.
It's monstrous.
Everyone knows I'm a
What
big...
were they running at, but second rower?
It doesn't matter.
Does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
Second rower's out there to defend.
He's not as fast as them.
Bloody Parramatta supporters making up excuses. But
hang on, what about when Sean Lane got a short pass off Dylan Brown and went past Cleary, Martin, and sidestepped Edwards to score?
That's
That's 3 brilliant
if you get a
players.
chance to watch that replay, that was almost the ball of the round. Just taking it, the sleight of hand, taking the ball right to the line, and Sean Lane did run the perfect hole. It was an unbelievable bit of ball play, to be honest with you, and you bang on. They arguably beat not only 3 of the better players, but 3 of the better defenders as well.
I'm trying to get the last word in here over Kylie. That's all, Elliot.
I wasn't a big fan of Sean Lane until the last 6 months or so.
I've always liked him.
Yeah, I think he's a good player and even better person.
Yep.
Even better bloke. So, I'm actually don't mind him. Moving on, mate, to the Raiders, 32 over the West Tigers, 12. No surprise package here, really, but I still think the Tigers show some patches of some good footy.
Patches is the right word. I think anything they do well in attack comes off the back of what Api Coruscant can do, and Api can't do much if his play the balls in front of him are slow. When they started speeding up the ruck and went in the ruck, then we saw Api doing what Api can do. I'm miffed by their halves selection. I really am. and I don't want to bag Benji. Enough people have done that, but I don't get why you pick a kid at 7 and then you pull him halfway through the first game of the season. I would have just been tempted to play Aiden Caesar and then use Bud Sullivan as a 14 or
100%.
whatever you wanted to do. Yeah, I was actually really confused by that. I think the Tigers have been so good at getting in their own way, and I'm not talking about the players on the field, back out for the longest time. And yeah, that decision actually really miffed me. And you talk about a kid's confidence. Yeah, you get hooked halfway through the first game of the season. Yeah, good luck seeing the best team this year.
Yeah, and you've got someone on the bench with the talent and caliber of Aiden Caesar. Ooh, it's a bit of a waste, if you ask me. You want him on the park to sort of, show these young blokes around, take him under his wing, and I was a bit baffled by that one too.
I think the Raiders 92% completion rate just sort of gave nothing away.
Yeah, I'm absolutely miffed why the Raiders have dropped Hoskins to the bench this week. I know Whitehead being the club captain coming in, well, I get it, but I honestly would have. I had to start Zach Hosking with the 2 weeks he's had.
I agree. I'd start Hosking and put Whitehead on the bench if he's coming back.
Very interesting, that one.
Doesn't matter if he's a club captain or not.
No, the performance of Zach Hoskins he's been arguably their best threat or biggest threat. Yeah, surprised. But finally on that game, you always seen the best teams in the comp. The best teams in the comp have a pretty simple setup. They have a veteran halfback. They have a 6 that can run the ball, and there's that sort of attacking threat. And obviously they've got the electric ones. And you're right, the Tigers. I mean, it's pretty simple. Caesar 7. If they want to play Lockie Galvin or Bud Sullivan at 6, sweet. Let them run and roam. Let Caesar kick the other team's desk, and Dream Bullock can do what he does. But it's a very odd selection on the weekend, I thought.
Yeah, and like you said, you don't want to. This poor kid's probably, I still go back to the whole Jared Mullen thing where, Mullen with his first Origin, they threw him in the deep end. He was, really never the same kid again after that, I feel.
I think with the half selections, as you said, if it wasn't Benji's first game, if it was another coach like well into the coaching career, you'd really, really question it. And maybe we should question Benji Marshall as well, being his first comp game as official coach. I don't know, can you question it that much? I don't know.
I think I'll give him a few weeks, but that one, Bud Sullivan, to me, when I saw him named in the 7, I think Bud's a really talented player, and I'm certainly not bagging anyone. But I thought, well, that's a team that needs someone to control things outside of Appy, and Bud wasn't going to be that guy, and yet a guy that's played for the Raiders, took him to a grand final, played at the highest level in the Super League, has had a pretty decent, detailed NRL and Super League career. It didn't make much sense, but we'll see how they go this weekend.
Yeah, moving on, mate. Unfortunately, we have to cover this one. Our Knights went down 21-20 to the Cowboys in the golden ticket round. That was there's some patches of the Knights that we could sort of be happy with. But it's got to go for the full 80. But Adam Elliott probably, I feel, played his best game in the red and blue so far.
Yep, I thought. I mean, his stats speak for themselves, but I actually thought our forward pack as a whole dominated most of the game. And as a Knights fan, I think you can be proud of that because they were absolutely beat up against Canberra. I thought Daniel Saifidi off the bench was immense. I thought Leo Thompson was outstanding. I was disappointed in the way we attacked. Again, a lot of the time looked like we tried to go too lateral instead of earning the middle a little bit first. I need to see Bradman Best getting good ball earlier too. I'm a little bit confused with the attack in that sense. I think that's probably part of why we saw changes this week. I'm happy to go on the record. I know Jackson Hastings well. He's a mate of mine. He's a really good fella. I was gutted to see him dropped. I hope I haven't spoken to him since he's been dropped, but I hope he puts his best foot forward in Cup. But I think we probably saw after going 0-2 with Jack Cogger just sitting there, there was going to be a change coming.
Do you see the likes of Gamble stepping up and maybe taking a bit more control of the ball now that Hastings not there? I'd like to see him, grab it with 2 hands and say, well, this is my time to shine as well?
To be honest, might be an unpopular take. I'd probably like it to see it the other way around. I'd like to see a little bit less pressure on Gamble to ball play, a little bit more Gamble able to run when we need him. But I'd like to see Jack Cogger take control of the shape of the attack and take control of, okay, how do we get the ball to KP, etc., in the best possible way for them where they have time and space to move. Because we didn't see that on the weekend. For being up 12-0 at the break, you think, cheering. But the Cowboys were putrid in that first half, and I think a really good footy team would have been up 4 or 5 tries.
I think our fifth tackle options was a little bit lacking, so to speak, in the last 2 weeks. I'd like to see a little bit more, contest of the ball, so to speak. I just, we ran on the last, I got caught the ball. Yeah, hopefully with Cogger coming in, as once again, that like you said, that no disrespect to Jackson, hopefully he goes back to Reggie's and builds his confidence and comes back twice as hard. But yeah, hopefully with Cogs in this week, we might see a little bit change in the fifth tackle options for me.
Well, one thing we've lost is a big target in the air. And obviously that's Dominic Young gone. You look at our wingers on the weekend, Greg Marju, for all the wonderful parts to his game, he's quite short in stature compared to most wingers, so he's not a target in the air. And same with Tom Jenkins, not neither tall nor short, not a particularly big body, so again, you're not going to target him. There's a kid I'm watching that actually came from North Queensland that's been playing pretty well in Reggie. He's got a couple of errors in this game, but that's Laisha Mosadrecki, the Fijian kid. He's 6'5", 6, similar to that, big, tall, skinny frame. I think if Tuala wasn't good to go this week, we would have seen him named. Potentially, if things don't quite gel with our current 2 and 5 over the next couple of weeks, we could see him get a game, because I agree with you. Fifth tackle on the attack, at the end of the day, who are we kicking for? We sort of limit our options a little bit, having smaller wingers.
Yeah, I agree with you. I've been watching him play reserve grade too, and yeah, himself and Will Price, I was very impressed with the last week at home. Yeah, so I'd love to see him get a crack in it as well. But you're right. Once Dom's gone, that was our go-to wing, really, wasn't it? So hopefully things will change. Yeah, but Jackson will bounce back. The people, he shouldn't be dropped, but this could do Jackson more good than harm, like going back, and he could come back and show the form that we once seen from Jacko.
Well, I think it's a mark of a man too, isn't it? When it's very easy to let ego get in the way, and that's anything in life. Whether you don't get a promotion you want at work or whatever it is. In this case, you dropped from being the club starting halfback to reserve grade. You can drop your bottom lip and kick stones, or you're allowed to take a day or a night for yourself and be a bit upset like we all would be, but then go out this weekend, be a good teammate, be a good clubman, and that's what I'm hoping we see, and then I'm confident we'll see from Jackson.
100%. Well, we'll be there watching him. Also
with the Knights, I mean, they almost got there but didn't. But they haven't won in Townsville since 2015. I know there's been turnover of players and that, so you can't really say it's a mental thing, but they got pretty close.
Yeah, the record in Townsville, you bang on, it's putrid. But that was the first time since 2011 they'd scored 20 points. And yet haven't won since 2015, which means they haven't won at the new stadium. We're going through all the stats before the game. Pretty much everything was against them having a win, and then you throw in the weather. It was warm. It was so humid. It was 32 degrees as it feels like a kickoff. I think Adam O'Brien was right in the press. There was a lot to like in terms of effort. Now this Sunday, you hope, okay, can we put some of that defensive resolve from the first half together and match it with attack that's a little bit less clunky and a little less predictable?
Let's see. Let's hope for the best. Anyway, so it was that hot up there, mate. It wasn't tears at full time and your face all sweat.
I think it was a mixture of both. It's funny. We actually, because we called the game on Triple M, we were just about finished. We wrapped up. I did a few interviews. We spoke with Ruben Cotter, Scott Drinkwater, then actually Jacko to finish. Just about to finish, and I get this poke in my back. Actually, it was more like a punch. I turn around and it's Chad Townsend smiling from ear to ear. He said, "Do you like that one?"
said, no, I hated it. Thanks so much, mate. Go away.
Yeah. As soon as you said punch in the back, I knew who it was.
Yeah.
Mate. Hopefully the Cowboys re-sign him again. He's off contract at the end of this year.
Yeah, I'm actually, and Chad's a good mate of mine, and I've purposely not asked that question because it's at this stage it's not my business. I'm fascinated though to see where he goes. There's so many options. I think there'll be NRL clubs that want him.
100%.
I'd be surprised if he stayed with the Cowboys. That's from nothing he said, just from the way they're set up. I'd be surprised if he stayed there, particularly since they took the captaincy away. Geez, how many veteran halfbacks are in the competition that have won premierships? Only a handful.
I'll tell you what, he would look good in blue and white.
You reckon what are the Dogs?
Yeah, I reckon he could fit in. He could, if the Cowboys don't keep him, I reckon he could slot in nicely there. To be honest,
I think there's a few clubs that would potentially be chasing a signature. I think let's not forget he was Shane Flanagan coached, and I would dare say that Ben Hunt will be on the move next year. But again, I am speculating. I have no idea. He could sign a 6-year deal in bloody Super League at this stage. I've got no idea.
Yeah, well, end of the day, we know he'll be running around somewhere because he's too good of a talent not to be. Mate,
and a great fella too, a really good fella.
Yeah, mate. I've seen some of the podcasts you guys do together on his. Check him out if you haven't seen it already. Storm, mate, 30-26 over the Warriors. I was pretty shattered for the Warriors on this one.
Yeah, I was a little bit. I got home only for the second half after the Knights Cowboys game, but just as a lover of rugby league, geez, that game had everything you could possibly want, including that freakish finish.
It reminded me of the old Ross dog.
Yeah, the finish against the Dragons. I was thinking the same thing. Look, it was incredible. And I don't think the Warriors lost any fans. I actually think they're 0-2. They play the Raiders who are 2-0, but I'll be tipping the Warriors this weekend. I think they're too good, and I think too good a side not to get it together. But yeah, like I said, they didn't lose any fans. Their second half was outstanding.
I tell you, I'm a big fan of his DWZ.
Say it.
Dallin.
Watani?
Yeah, him. Every game, he's always excitement. Plus, I love watching him play.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the Prince haircut plays a part in it too. He is. And I don't know, he plays rugby league the right way. Kids will love watching him. He plays with a smile on his face. It's half the reason kids love the Pappenhausens, et cetera, of the world. He's a joy to watch, and it was nice to see Pappy too. That try he scored, I think it was Katoa. They went outside, inside, but they did it at such a rapid pace that you didn't have time to blink. That was, vintage Melbourne Storm.
It's Lionel Richie.
That's the one, yeah, Lionel Richie, yeah.
Said the soul glow.
Mate, next one, the Eagles 21-14 over the Roosters, mate. I tell you what, I'm really impressed with Luke Brooks.
Yeah, and you know what's wild is, and I know Newcastle fans are meant to hate Manly. I can't at the moment. I'm just really enjoying watching their game, from Luke Brooks to Hamole Olakawatu, who please Madge Maguire selecting Origin. There's so many threats. Tommy Turbo was actually relatively quiet by his standards, and I think I questioned Ruben Garrick's move to the centres. I thought he was very good. Lockie Croker, sort of no-nonsense number 9 that gets the job done. They're probably my favourite story to start the year, to be honest, and in particular, as you said, Luke Brooks. You can't not be happy for him, for all he endured. Never said a bad word, and he looked threatening every time he took the line on.
Yeah, and it's good to see. Like, he copped a lot of shit for the last few years at the Tigers, and unwanted, really. He was the scapegoat on a lot of things. Good on him. Honestly, I hope Manly don't go too good this year, but I hope Luke Brooks does for a personal one. But the last one of the round, mate, the Dolphins 38 over the Dragons, got a gold goose egg.
Yeah, this game was frustrating for a number of reasons. One of the main ones is I tipped the Dragons, but
me too.
They just went from last week, looking like a Shane Flanagan coach team, looking like they had, new blood, new life, to all of a sudden looking like the disinterested Dragons from round 22 last year.
Yeah, it was a hard watch. I thought Zach Lomax probably the only bright spark with 30 carries or whatever he had. But the Dolphins there's a few rumours going around Dolphins about Wayne, trying to kick Hammer out of training, blah 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 during the week. That never happened, but he did put a rocket up him, and obviously it worked. He scored 3 tries.
I mean, if that's what happens and you score 3 tries, do him every week.
So that's the first. That's the first time the Dolphins have held someone to 0 in their history.
I think it was the first time they kept them under double digits. Someone was telling me. So that's what they'll be most happy with. Is their attack quick, but defensively, I think defensively they were very good. I don't read too much into it because I think the Dragons were absolutely putrid. I thought they were awful. They just didn't throw anything at them, and they looked lazy. They looked tired, which is so concerning in round 2. But watch them; they'll bounce back and somehow beat the Cowboys this week.
Well, the next, 2 or 3 rounds, we should start seeing a bit of consistency, you would think, in some teams and start to see who's really serious about this year. The last game for the round was the Titans struggled on the bye.
Yeah, like the Tigers struggled in round 1, yeah. But all the home teams won on the weekend. So,
I should have just gone with that with my tipping theory because it certainly didn't work the way I did it.
I shouldn't have just put them in because you get all the home teams.
Yeah.
True.
Mate, once again, we appreciate your knowledge and input every week, and love your input and love listening to you. When are you getting on any more with Chad soon?
Yeah, I think during the season he normally keeps his podcast stuff pretty quiet, which I understand. Just wants to focus on his own thing. So we'll do maybe an episode around Origin, but probably wait till towards the end of the season, I'd say.
Yeah, too easy. When you do, send it through and we'll put it up for listeners to enjoy.
Sounds good. I appreciate it, guys.
No, anytime, champion. Mate, hopefully this time next week we're laughing and cheering about a victory at Newcastle this weekend. So I'll just get your little tip this week for the Knights. Storm, who are you taking?
I tip the Knights every week regardless of what I think. But I do genuinely think Gogger coming in, no Munster, no Hughes. I think this is a game that can be won. I'll go the Knights 22-12.
My only concern was Xavier Coates. Who's going to handle him?
And Pappenhausen.
Yeah, well,
he's a little rocket.
But yeah, I just think Coates on the wing now. Marju's gone. It's a big ask for probably. Who's on that wing? Probably Jenkins, is it? I was impressed with Jenkins, especially his little flick the ball in when it was going for touch. There was some patches of Jenkins I really liked, but. Let's hope.
Yeah, no, I think he's a good project. I think the Storm are carrying Farlow on the bench as well, the other superstar fullback. So big defensive estimated. I predict I'm going to get me some night games, so I'll be on the cash.
Yeah, mate, we're losing you there, champion. Yeah, no, we lost him. All right, guys, we'll take a short break and be back shortly. All right, guys, welcome back, and it's time for a bit of humour.
Were you just practicing?
Yeah,
laugh for my
it
joke?
was.
Okay.
You got something for us?
I do. A lady went to a pet shop and immediately spotted a large, beautiful parrot. There was a sign on the cage that said $50. Why so little? She asked the pet store owner. The owner replied, Look, I should tell you first that this bird used to live in a house of ill repute, and sometimes it says some pretty vulgar stuff. The woman thought about this but decided she had to have the bird. She took it home and hung the bird's cage up in her living room and waited for it to say something. The bird looked around the room, then at her, and said, New house, new madam. The woman was a bit shocked at the implication, but then thought, that's not so bad. When her 2 teenage daughters returned from school, the bird saw them and said, New house, new madam, new girls. The girls and the woman were a bit offended, but then began to laugh about the situation. Moments later, the woman's husband came home from work. The bird looked at him and said, Hi, Keith.
Suck in, Keith.
Okay.
Little dobber.
Yeah, might have to start doing 2 or 3.
No, one's enough.
Oh, right.
No.
If not, I'll have to start bringing me dad jokes out.
No,
Do too. Do too.
All right, so that's you for this week.
Yes.
Go the Panthers.
Yes. Hopefully.
You picking
Hopefully.
the fancies?
Yeah, we'll put up all of our tips again this week up in there, and we'll see who's going to take who. But
I may not be crying on Thursday night.
is that because I'm home?
Yeah.
Anyway, no, they'll play well, hopefully, and come home with the chocolates. But
In
we'll
this
catch.
heat, they'll melt.
Oh, aren't they? Well,
Down if they will.
anyway, we'll catch you next week.
Sure.
All right, guys, welcome back, and get to the tail end of the show. But guys, you got something for us, first?
Yeah, we have the Nighttime podcast and the Schmidt Foundation. Take that over, Schmidt.
Yeah, we're all pretty big here on mental health awareness, and trying to do something to that. So this year we've come up with our little foundation. We're actually about mental health awareness, helping young kids too, promoting bullying in school, trying to put a stop to all that too, and helping some sporting teams out there that may be struggling. So first up this year, we're going to be giving away 2 sets of jerseys as well to a club. So it could be, don't know, it could be your club, but yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of mental health awareness stuff, and hopefully one day pushing it through our little foundation there, that we'll have a full-time option for assistance for mental health. So that's something that is close to my heart, and
Just about everyone here as well.
yeah, so it's something I've fought hard over the last couple of years, and I want to do it. And if I save one person's life, or through the journey that myself and others have gone through, so there's something I'd want to push for. And also we've gone through it with a couple of our kids already, and now another one of our kids, you worry about getting mixed up the wrong crowd, and heartbreak of partners and that. We just want to do something out there and help not just older people like Gary and myself.
You did look at me first.
And like us, but also the kids as well. So we're gonna jump on board with the kids, help out there where we can. And I mean, if you, even before we start really push this into gear, if you're struggling out there and you need help, don't be afraid to stand up and ask for help. It's I always say it's not a it's a show of strength, not a weakness. So
it's a brave thing to ask for help, no matter who you are.
100%. And if anyone looks down on you for that kind of crap, well, they're not
human.
No, that's right. So a lot of people go through it, and I'm not afraid to say I've gone through it, and I still have my time, ups and downs, but it's family, friends, and that they get you through. 100%. And
just talk about it.
Yeah, it's a thing that affects a lot of people, but we're just starting it off now, so stay tuned for some more. But very excited to start this off now, and we're going to throw a set of jerseys to a struggling team, and push some sportsmanship in the junior ranks and that as well. So stay tuned for some more. But it's good to finally put it out there.
Yep.
So
great cause.
Anyway, let's move it on, guys, and get on to this week's rounds. Crackerjack of a game on Thursday night. The Penrith Panthers and the Brisbane Broncos, probably arguably the two form teams of the comp, you could probably say, with a couple others, but match of the round.
Easily match of the round.
I'm not going to say too much because Kyle will be watching this later, but
We can say it now. Don't worry about it later.
Yeah, but I've got to deal with it later. Penrith and Broncos. Broncos are going to be hard to beat, but Fish Harris is going to be a big out. But I think Penrith might just do them at home. I'm liking the form of Tago. And Cleary, I think, starting to get a little bit more confidence. He lost it a bit over the new year, I feel.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm going to take the Panthers in a tight one.
I like the Broncos. If they can carry their form from last week, I think, yeah, they can do them. Won't say it's a blowout. It'll be a close one, maybe 6 or 8 points in it, but yeah.
Obviously, Fisher's out with the shoulder. They've got Lindsay Smith in. Great player to partner Moses at the front. But personally, I would have brought Matt Eisenhuth in to start. And maybe Lindsay, maybe they're going to run him off the bench for an impact as well because Eisenhuth is now on the bench. But you got to feel for this bloke. He does everything right all the time to fill in for Fish or Moses when they're out. And as soon as they're back in, he's gone out. But he never puts a foot wrong.
No.
You watch, he probably will this week now. I've said it.
Making it hard for me now because I've gone for the Broncos. But I think it's going to be a tight game.
It's going to be, and especially
there's going to be sore bodies at the end of it.
It would have been good to see Fish and what's his name? Payne Huss go at each other. That would have been good in itself. I'm not. Hey, I seen how she was last week. I need him to win. But Brian Tootle scored his 16 tries in 14 NRL games. So he's
pocket rocket.
He is, isn't he? Like, I love Greg Marju, but I mean, not for wingers, but he's got to be close up there as well.
Yeah.
Some good players around, isn't
there? Yeah, 100%. Even little Sania Tarava, or however you say his name, Tareva, like, he scored 6 tries in the past 3 games at Blue Blant Stadium. Like, he never puts a foot wrong, really, that young fella. So it's going to be a hard one, but as I said, I'll take the Panthers in a tight one.
Friday night, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, stop jumping the gun, mate.
I was trying to push you on. You got the ins and outs.
Got the ins and outs, mate.
I didn't get the ins and outs, sorry.
Corey Oates is in. Jock Madden, Tristan Saylor, Adam Reynolds is out for the Broncos. Fish is out. There's a few different changes, mainly on the reserves bench, so you probably won't see him. Maverick Geyer, he's on the reserves bench, and Paul Alamotti. There's some big raps on him. Come from the Bulldogs, is that
Huge
correct?
raps, I think he did, yeah.
Big boy too.
Yep.
They're saying he's Scott Sorensen used to be the the pin-up boy at Penrith, so to speak. Well, they reckon he's jumped him. So he must be a pretty...
Is this another man crush coming on?
No.
Okay.
No. But he must be a pretty, lean kind of a guy. I haven't really seen too much of him, but I guess I will soon. Moving on now, guys. You can move on now.
I can do it now? Okay.
Yes.
6 o'clock Friday night. Warriors against the Raiders. I'm going Warriors. They've got to win a game. It's going to be a good one. Sorry, fellas.
Sorry, boys. I know you're Raiders fans, but
it's going to be a good one.
If it was in Canberra, I'd definitely take the Raiders. But over there in Auckland or Christchurch, where it is, isn't it?
Christchurch, yep.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Warriors, I feel.
I think it's going to be a good one.
It'll be I hope it's going to be a good one. On paper, it should be a good one. I've taken the Raiders in a close one. But, the Warriors are 0-2. Unlucky, I think. This will be the Raiders' biggest test so far.
Big Shano, who do you go for? With his milk shirt on.
So the big inclusion I like with the Warriors is Wade Egan back. I have huge raps on the number 9 for the Warriors, former Penrith player. Huge raps, I feel. Wade Egan's back in. Sebastian Chris is out for the milk.
Yeah. Yep. He's I think he come up with HIA, I think, on the weekend, so mustn't be cleared, yeah.
Elliot Whitehead's back. Zach Warford, they're back on the reserves. May not see many game time from them, but yeah, I think I'll take the Warriors. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but
No.
it'll be a good game.
I'm hoping it is. Yeah.
Yeah, Elliot Whitehead returns from his layoff with a groin injury, which surprisingly bumps Zach Hosking back to the bench. But I mean, it was either him or Hudson Young. So
you couldn't punt Hudson Young to the bench.
Nah, so it was. I mean, I feel Zach will come on anyway and make an impact on the bench. So
he could come on after 20 and just run amok.
And also too, heaven forbid it doesn't happen, but one of your outside backs gets injured, he could slot in there as well too. So maybe it's a strategic, as well. So it'll be a good game, that one. And so that's 6 o'clock Friday.
Yep. Which should be about 8 o'clock over there.
Yeah, true. So moving on to the next one, Roosters. Actually, not a fan of watching these two teams play, so to speak. I like Spencer and that, but I think this might be an exciting game. Jared Weir-Hargraves doesn't seem to like the Rabbits much, so I think there could be a little bit of fireworks.
Is this a milestone game for you, say?
Yes, I believe so. I do have the paperwork here, yes. It is. Keep looking.
You got too much paper there.
I do. It is a milestone for his. It's his 300th.
Yes.
So.
Well, what a team to play against then for 300.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. It's a bit ironic,
I think the whole team will lift for it.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean, love him or hate him, he is sort of exciting to watch in a way.
I think, considering the opposition and considering the milestone, he's going to come out hard, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's binned at some point during the game. It'll just all get too much for him.
Or do you think some of the Rabbits might niggle him a bit to make him do that to get the bin?
Doesn't need niggling.
So it's Cameron Murray's 150th as well. So a couple of milestones there. A few changes. I really love this. Number 14 for the Roosters, Connor Watson. Welcome back, Connor. That's Connor's a champion guy. Really nice bloke, and had a massive injury the last 12 months, and he's back playing apparently played the last 2 weeks in reserve. Great, killed it. Absolutely killed it. So that'll be a 14. I'm glad to watch that. Angus Crichton found his way back into the reserves, but yeah, I think this could be Angus Crichton's last year at the Roosters.
I would think so, yeah. I think Super League will be calling him unless he goes to Union. He's the next Union player.
There's Shaq Mitchell back to the reserves.
Yeah. The good Mitchell.
Well, I haven't thought he's played too badly, really.
Yeah.
That's personally. Anyway, Jack Whiten's back in. That's the Luke Curie's out, obviously, for the Roosters. That's probably the main ones for us.
Now, Whiten's named in the centres, but I can see him as 5'8" for some of the game at least.
But then what do you do with Cody Walker?
What should be done with Cody Walker?
Do you push Cody? Cody Walker's not a halfback.
No.
No.
When he's on, he's good, but hasn't been showing it lately.
I'm sorry, but that
Roosters for me.
Yeah, I got Roosters.
I'll take the Roosters in a tight one. I reckon it's not going to be as a blowout like some people are saying, but a tight one for me, I feel. Next one, the dog. I'm actually looking forward to this
3 o'clock.
Yeah, Saturday.
Dogs and Titans.
I'm looking forward to that. I've been watching the Dogs closely this year because of obviously Kurt Mann.
Another man crush there.
And Crichton. I still keep in contact with Kurt, and I wish him all the best.
Top bloke.
Yeah, and I feel that when he come on, did anyone watch the game? The Dogs?
I missed that one, no.
When Kurt come on the last 2 weeks for the Dogs, they clicked into gear.
Yeah,
a little bit more. I know it's a big call, but if their halves, I know coming off the bench he's making spark, but if their halves are not performing, do we see someone like Kurt slot in to take the role?
Take over.
We mentioned earlier having some experience in the halves.
Well, there's Toby Sexton he's just not getting the run that he should. Do you go Toby Sexton, Kurt Mann, half 5'8"?
Possibly.
Nothing
I mean,
on there.
Well, the way I look at it, because it's just not working the way it is now. Like Toby Sexton's not even named in the 7-8. To me, this is a coaching blunder, should you say. Drew Hutchison, good player, but he needs to go to 13. And even Salmon pushed back to the bench. And you bring Toby Sexton in at 7. Matt Burton, I still think Matt Burton is a better centre than a 5'8".
Yes.
I know we touched it with Elliott, but imagine a centre pairing of Stephen Crichton and Matt Burton. Is there a better centre combination in the league?
Who goes fullback?
Blake Taft's still there?
Yeah. Yep.
And then you probably push that Blake Wilson, he's only a new bloke, out. And Jacob Carraz goes back to his wing. I mean, so you got Taft, Carraz, Crichton, Burton, Mann, Sexton. It's not a bad back line.
Yep.
And then you push, Drew Hutchinson into the forwards. To me, he's more of a running 13 than a halfback.
Sure.
To me, that's just why I question. I know it's a big call again, and I'm not like bagging coaches, but is Cameron more of a better assistant coach than a first grade full-time coach? I just don't. For me, the jury's still out.
I think we mentioned earlier that he went there a year earlier than he should have, so maybe give him some more time to get some more players.
I tell you what, I'm prepared to give him till. I know a lot of people, like Elliot said, he's got a long leash. Personally, I'm Gus Gould. He's got till mid-year. If there's not even look of any changes, something's got to change.
And Gus is pretty ruthless.
Mm. But also there's, like it's been questioned before, is Cameron really the coach or is it Gus?
Yeah.
If that's the case, well, I think it sucks.
Who have you got in this?
Yeah, it's hard to take the Titans, isn't it?
I have.
I want Bulldogs. I think they're going to put it a bit together.
They're only running 13 for the Titans because they got the bye.
Yeah.
But
no, I've taken the Titans. I think that's my bold prediction for the week.
I'm going to take the Dogs only because I did see, like I said, there are patches of some good football.
Yep.
Viliame Kickout's probably played the best he's played since leaving Penrith. And going back to that, I've got to say it. The interpretation of different things all the time. Viliame Kickout got a try disallowed because of the defending player got impeded by the ref. There's no way. Common sense needs to be played in this thing where they go, okay, yeah, that's the rule sort of thing, but there's no way in the world, I forget who the fullback was going to stop Viliame Kickout from 2 metres out a ramp. No. There's not many people that will stop Viliame Kickout that close to the line.
No.
And
not even a brick wall.
Nah, so and then you see another game, it gets led away. That could have changed the whole game, really.
Yeah.
Because it was early on. Yeah. Kieran Foran returns to the halves. It'd be interesting to see how Kieran Foran goes. Actually, I rate Kieran Foran off years ago, but he keeps trying.
I wrote him off when he came for Parramatta. Paid the money and never played.
But him and Tanner Boyd in the halves could be all right.
Yep.
AJ Brimson, on paper, they've got a good side.
Yeah.
Chris Randall.
And don't forget the Des factor.
Yeah, Big Tino, like this Bo Firma.
And they're coming up against an old Desi coach team.
100%. So I'm very, I'm going to take the Dogs just. I say that very unconvincingly.
Saturday, 5:30.
Yep.
Dragons, Cowboys.
Can you go against the Cowboys?
Nope.
No. In a landslide. Cowboys in a landslide.
I'm disappointed in the Dragons, actually. Like, that performance they put out last week. If you're a Dragons fan, you're fuming.
Well, after the first game and they won, and Flano's come out and said, whoever wrote us off finished last, this egg on your face sort of thing. And then they dish up what they dished up last week.
You still want
and then Flano comes out and goes, I've got to make changes. It's just a complete 180.
Yeah.
But he's made the wrong changes.
Yeah.
But, all right. Raymond Faluda Mariner, however you say his name properly, from the Bulldogs. The last 2 weeks, I thought he's played well.
Yeah.
And they've put him back to the interchange and put Jack DeBellin. Jack DeBellin, he's offered nothing. Blake Laurie comes straight in. I guess Laurie's good, but yeah, I mean, I rate Raymond. I think he's a class player, and I don't know. I guess that's why he's a coach and I'm not. But how many? Yeah, I'm not even going to bother to say that. Lou Leckie from the Cowboys is out, and I think he done ankle. Ankle injury. So yeah, definitely Cowboys for me. I don't see the Dragons winning anytime soon, to be honest. It's very, very poor
effort.
Yeah. Moving on, it's Saturday night, the West Tigers against the Sharks. Do I smell an upset? Nah.
No, you don't.
Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Not so early.
No, Sharks for me.
Yeah, Sharks are too good.
Big cricket score, ain't?
Yeah. Unless things change, I can't see anything really happening just yet. I'd love to, and I really want to see the Tigers, get up and... Because I'm a big Happy Coruscant fan, and obviously David Clemmer. But I just question why... I just don't... Well, it's changed this week, obviously, yeah. Aiden Caesar's back in at halves, but Jaden Sullivan's gone back to the bench. That could change a lot in itself. Maybe take a lot of pressure off Happy Coruscant. I guess it's going to depend on...
Maybe with Caesar starting, it might have a stronger start with him on the field at the start.
I mean, David Clemmer and Stefano have got to go forward. They've really got to go forward.
They've got to lay that platform.
I'll take the Sharks, but I'd like to see the Tigers
put up a bit of a fight.
Yeah. Stafford Tower's out for quite a while. Hasn't given a time frame, but yeah, he rolled his ankle, dislocated his, or should I say, syndesmosis. Everything with an ankle now is syndesmosis. So,
which is basically a sprained ankle.
Well, in a nutshell, for those of you that don't know what syndesmosis is a sprained ankle. It's just more of a technical term, but there is a long list of what it actually is. But in a nutshell, it is a sprained ankle. Yeah. Just a severely bad one.
It just sounds better.
Yeah, sounds more technical.
I've got a sprained ankle. Wow. Syndesmosis.
Oh, you poor thing. Anyway, moving on to this game of Parramatta against the Eagles.
Michigans.
At
Sunday, 4:00.
Combank Stadium. I'll tell you what, I'm going to ask this question because I like this question. Best stadium in New South Wales to watch football? Other than your own, like your own, you love your own stadium.
But we're not in New South Wales anyway. So.
Yeah, well, true, Or you could use that, though.
I could, but I won't. Yeah. I don't know.
Haven't been there.
Haven't been there?
No.
Do yourself a favour. Combank Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I reckon it's magical.
It is magical. And I hope that Penrith's new stadium is built like that.
Follow the same lines.
Yeah. I love for all. Like, I know a lot of people go, I don't like how they turn the lights off and there's all that lighting and that. I think it's great. It gives you that grand final feel. And, okay, for you, I'll use my club as an example. All you night stands out there. We have to turn our lights on at 2:30 to use them at 9:30 that night.
Yep.
You go to Combank Stadium, the home of the Eels, they can turn theirs off and on at the flick of a switch and change colours and whatever. And it's like a grand final atmosphere. Like, you imagine running out to McDonald Jones Stadium to it being full red and blue lights. Yeah.
Magic.
It'd be awesome. So I just think all stadiums, like ours is relatively new and it's getting upgrades. That's good, but we need to upgrade the lights.
Yeah.
Them lights need to go, and we need to have that kind of. I know it's not a full enclosed stadium, but we can still make it work. I reckon it's the atmosphere at that ground is second to none. It's different with your crowd atmosphere, but I mean, what that as a club, a spectacle they. When they players run out and that, all right, that's awesome. And
when I took my son to see Parramatta play Newcastle at Newcastle, and Sammy Radradra scored down in the bottom left corner, and they put it up on the big screen to see if he dropped it over the line or whatever. But at half time, half the lights went out, and there was only 2 come back on, and all that side was dark. You couldn't even see the linesman or anything. And we're looking at the big screen. My son says to me, because Sammy Radradra is the colour he is, and everything was black. You couldn't even see anyone else. And he ended up getting a try, but it was
real dark along that line, was it? Around that side.
Yeah.
And the lines didn't have enough trouble seeing, let alone.
They turned half the lights off, and I was surrounded by Knights players and that. We're all having a laugh and whatnot. And I says, is anyone going to turn the lights back on? Like the players were ready to come back out, and it was still in dark. And they played the second half in the dark.
You take note, anyone going to the Knights game this weekend. Kick off 6:15. You watch about 3:30 or whatever. That could be an exaggeration, but it's a long time before
you warm up and come on.
Right.
It's shocking that.
You'd think with a modern stadium that we've got now, it would be much more than that. No, it's just annoying for me. This one's going to be a hard one. This probably has to be up there with Penrith for game of the round. I reckon if both teams play like they played last week, this is going to be a cracker of a game.
I want to see who's in for Para.
Tommy Talau's out. Hang on, it's still in my notes. I think, Tommy Talau, he'd have to be out, isn't he? Tommy Talau is out. Yeah, definitely out. He is listed among the reserves, but yeah, he won't play. Definitely. I'm going to take the Eels in a close one.
Say that again?
Yeah, no, you didn't hear that.
I've got Manly.
That's a hard one. I'm sitting here looking at it, and
Manly's impressed me in the first 2 rounds.
100% that. Yeah. Why? Anyone know why Aaron Woods is out? Sharon's still out. He's making his way back to the reserves, but
I'd be more surprised if he was named.
Eagles.
Plenty others in front of him.
Yeah, true. It makes you wonder why they signed him. Maybe back up. But Eagles prop Regan Campbell-Gillard will make his 200th NRL appearance this week.
A lot of milestones this week, isn't it?
Eagles centre Ruben Garrick requires 14 points to bring up 1,000 points for the club. He
doesn't get in this game.
Yes.
Tries, few goals.
All right, so I'll take the Eels. As I said, close one. I think it's going to be close. But, moving on to my favourite game of the round, the Knights versus Storm, 6:15 Sunday. Greg Marju's out, obviously. We might do the team list for the Knights, actually. It's a bit of a sad one for this one. You got the team there, guys?
I've got the team. You? I'm not reading it out.
Guys. Yep, there we go. Thank you very much. All right, I'll do the team list for the Knights. Number 1, we got Kalen Ponga. 2, Thomas Jenkins. Number 3, Dane Gagai. Number 4, Bradman Bass. Anali Tuwala comes back in on the other wing, and I'm excited to see this next bit. Number 6, our favourite, Tyson Gamble, or one of our favourites. And number 7, coming back into the first time for the run on side for the Newcastle Knights is Jack Cogger. The engine room is pretty cool up here. Jacob Saifidi, I think he deserves his run on spot. Phoenix Crosland in the hooking role, and Leo Thompson. Leo Thompson made some major hit-ups last week, and he's just getting better and better each week. So in the back row, we've got Tyson Frizzell, Kai Pearce, Paul, and Adam Elliott. Kai Pearce, Paul impressed me last week as well. Only going to get better. On the interchange, Jaden Bradley makes his return with Daniel Saifidi, Jack Heverington, and Jed Cartwright. Jack Heverington played some good footy last week.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of his.
Yeah, I thought he played really well. And this one I'm really happy about too. Our 18th man, Brody Jones. Considering 2 weeks ago, Brody couldn't even move his neck, and they thought he might have fractured his neck. So yeah, good on you, Broads. Shout out to your champion.
Top bloke.
Yeah, really good bloke. And I'll tell you who's not far off making his first grade debut. Number 19, Will Price. That bloke can kick a football. We've seen him kicking from the sideline the other week when we played the Raiders. And he was kicking him from the sideline, like straight over.
Effortless.
And I'm just like, wow. Yeah. And he played really good. Matty Croker hasn't got a bit of a run yet, which is sad. But he'll obviously throughout the year. But Dylan Lucas is back on the reserves as well, so he's making his way back from the HIA. And Jackson Hastings been named at 22, but he'll play New South Wales Cup, I believe. So that's the Newcastle Knights this week. Out, so this week for the Storm is Christian Walsh, which will be a huge for the Knights. And Jerome Hughes. Enza, Aaron Payne, Grant Anderson, Jack. It's probably our only main ones you want to look. But big out for us, I feel, is going to be Greg Marju. We are going to miss Greg Marju.
Yeah.
Especially on Xavier Coates. But, this Jerome Hughes is suspended.
Is he the one that ran into the ref?
Yeah.
They didn't sort of show it up close when I watched it. And like he was watching the game and he's gone like that and hit the ref. Like, I know you're not supposed to touch the ref and all that.
It was an accidental. What could he do?
Like he was watching the player come and he's not watching here.
But that goes back to my...
I'm surprised Jerome Hughes didn't go down. He dives a lot. Milking penalties, so yeah.
But that goes back to the whole Bulldogs game where one of the players ran into the ref and couldn't get Billy Emmett. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
So the inconsistency, this is the whole thing that we're talking about with Latrell Mitchell. The NRL is run by a bunch of Muppets. Let's be honest. They don't know, I won't go that way, but they don't know, they got no idea how to run the game, to be honest. Like they said to me, they said that the Vegas was a success. How can it be a success when they had, was it 60,000 fans?
And 40,000.
Yeah.
40,000 were Australian.
Yeah.
Another 15 were from England.
There was a question last night on NRL 360. Someone wrote in and said, do you think the Vegas football, which for the next 4 or 5 years, is up there with Origin and Grand Final? And Paul Kent said yes.
Is he smoking crack?
He's doing something. Yeah.
But Paul Kent had an argument. No, it wasn't Kent. It was Reedy. Had an argument last night with Brafe and Astor, saying Brafe said, should the NRL have sanctioned Latrell Mitchell? They had a massive argument over it. And Brafe and Astor talks a lot of sense. But Reedy's just, he was contradicting himself.
Yeah.
And I think that's, the NRL needs to have shake up. I'm not saying, well, actually I am. I don't think it's run properly, to be honest.
It needs a shake up, but the game needs consistency.
100%.
Because there's
all the time.
Something happens for one guy, the next guy gets away with it, right? Someone gets away with swearing on a radio interview. I can guarantee you if someone does that this week, there's at least a fine.
Yeah.
If someone gets on a podcast and swears, there's going to be a fine. Right?
Okay. I'm Clint Gufferson. It's had a great game, but I'm effing buggered. Oh, sorry. Oh, shit. Sorry. I let that slip.
Yeah.
They fire me. I rip it up and throw it back to him.
Because he's apologised. Whereas Latrell's gone during the interview saying, "Oh, I'm swearing, I don't care."
But if they didn't and they tried, they said, "Oh, sorry, you cop a fine." I'd refuse to play it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't refuse to play it. And if they said, "Well, you got to sit a week out," I'll do it out of protest, so to speak. It's the same thing.
But you know what would happen? Latrell gets another interview after a game, right?
Not for Triple M.
Well, whoever, and then swears intentionally, and then goes, "Oh, sorry," just to make fun of it, and he would.
But the problem is, I didn't believe it, but I'm starting to believe it now, where apparently the attitude is Latrell thinks he's bigger than the game.
He has for a while.
He will never be bigger than the game. And that mentality doesn't stick with me because there's bigger and better players than you, buddy. I'm sorry, you're a talent and you're a good player and you could be a lot better if you cut the bullshit out of your game. Like with the, that mentality.
All the antics and
His
stuff.
form went down when he went to the Rabbits. He was half decent at the Roosters. He was strong. He could defend, he could run, and he could score a try, and he can kick goals. He played well for the Roosters. Signs with the Rabbits, and it's just
He's
downhill.
still good with the Rabbits, but I just think it needs a.
He just doesn't try. There's no
check.
effort.
Really?
There's no effort.
Word, but apparently things aren't well in Rabbits camp. But hey,
to me, he stands behind the ruck and everything, and then all the forwards and that do the hard work. And then they get a bit of a break and they give it to him and he runs 90 metres and everyone thinks he's a god.
Yeah.
Put him in the forwards. Let him play the forward role for a while and see how well he can run.
He's big enough.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I reckon 15 minutes, he'd be gasping and want to come off.
Put him in the forwards with his brother.
Well, that poor bugger's got the arse. But I thought he's been playing pretty well.
As I said, the good Mitchell. He makes it. He puts the effort in.
Anyway, we might take another short break, come back and wrap it all up.
Who went for the Knights and Storm?
Oh, sorry. Before we go.
Carried away.
Carried away. Oh, obviously Knights.
I went Storm.
I can't tip against them, but
Knights,
Storm. But it's probably our best chance to beat them at the moment. No Jerome Hughes and that. So
I think it'll be another good game.
Yeah.
Dolphins got the bye.
Yep.
And
they'll win that one.
No Nelson
Solomon.
Oh, yeah, which is a shame. I love the bloke. I think he's great.
I don't know why. What's he out for?
Apparently he's going. Okay. Apparently he's out of favour with the Storm. Apparently.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
That's not good.
There's going to be at least 10 NRL clubs waiting to pounce on him. At least. I only say 10 because maybe the other ones are in salary cap issues and they're not the Roosters.
If I was sticky, I'd go after him.
100%.
Yep.
There you go. Here's another one. Well, Penrith lost Spencer and a few others, so they're after an enforcer. Imagine that rotation. Them for
no.
God help us. I'd love to see him in red and blue. Imagine him and Leo at the front. And then the two Saifidi brothers come on after him.
He could sign with any team and lift that team.
He's the bloke that you love to hate.
Oh, big time.
Yep.
You love him if he was on your team, hate him if you're playing against him. And, a lot of people go, oh, yeah, he's a grub. He's a bit grubby. But I guarantee you, that's the way Bellamy sends him out to play.
Yep.
Because, Nathan Cleary, he rattled him up and, put him off his game, didn't he? We play Mitchell Moses, rattle him up. You've half won the Parramatta then. Same with the Knights. I think he's great. I love the bloke. I mean, he's...
rattle him and then, like I said, puts him off the game and then...
He's a bloke, if you went into war, you'd want to have him in your corner.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't like about him is he plays for the Storm.
Yeah, 100%.
My most hated team.
Anyway, guys, this time we'll be back shortly and wrap it all up.
Take 10.
All right, guys, it's time to wrap it up for this week. And, mate, thank you all for coming in. But just before we go, don't forget the photo comp out there. Any team, any game. Let's get on there and win one of these 2 fridges, because if you don't, I'll have it. And next week we're going to have, being Easter, we're going to do our first members draw. So you don't have to enter anything. All you've got to do is be following the show, and you're in the draw. So
that's easy.
We're going to
follow the show.
Yeah. So,
I follow it.
oh, you never know.
Yeah.
We're going to do a few of these members draws where we're just going to give away some things to some fans and that. So we'll start the next one next week. And don't forget the panel. If you want to jump on one of the spare seats.
There. We've got a spare seat.
That was supposed to be taken by a fellow this afternoon, but circumstances happened and couldn't get here. But it was just too late to organise someone else by that time. But
it's a harmless gig.
Yeah, jump on, have a bit of fun. It's talk some shit like we do.
Yep.
You know, have a bit of fun.
I found tonight better than the first time.
More relaxed.
Yeah.
You don't even realise there's a camera in front of you now, do you?
No. Right. Is that what they are?
Oh yeah. Anyway, so yeah, get out there, get to a game. If you go into the game, head down to Thirsty Messiah for some drinks before or after the game. Great place there, good food, right behind the stadium, just up from McDonald's. Little Dragon on tap, one of our fine sponsors, Little Dragon. So can't recommend them enough. Like to thank all of our other sponsors as well, as you see behind us, and hello, is it me you're looking for?
Down the barrel.
It's raining men. Hallelujah, it's raining men. Here, there, everywhere. It's raining men.